We are Blackboard. We are Arizona.
Some Saturday night NL West fever. We're inside Chase Field, where we had a wild one last night, 11-10. And tonight the D-backs look to even this series in a game apiece with very little wiggle room in a division with 4 teams, all within 4 games of first place. It's the D-backs and the Rockies on Fox Sports Arizona. Good evening from Chase Field. Welcome to the broadcast. Steve Berthume along the way. Bob Brenly has the weekend off. Luis Gonzalez is here. This is a big game for the Diamondbacks. They need to win this one tonight or lose the series, and you don't want to open up the second half of the year with a series loss at home in the division. So, Gonzo, they hand the baseball tonight to Zach Godley. He's been terrific in his last 2 starts.
Yeah, he really has. And, I mean, now they're a game and a half behind the Dodgers, so they desperately need for Zach Godley to step it up today.
You can see Zach's numbers, his last 2 starts against San Diego and in Atlanta last week, Gonzo, almost identical.
Yeah, he's done a great job for the D-backs this season. He's been one of their mainstay guys in there getting the wins for the Diamondbacks.
Up against lefty Kyle Freeland, D-backs just saw him at Coors Field last week. He didn't get a win, but he pitched very well.
He's been one of their most consistent starters for their team this season. You saw their 6 hits, 1 earned run, 4 Ks. We're looking for the Diamondbacks to jump them early today.
Godley and Freeland, the D-backs and the Rockies. Game 2 of 3 is next on Fox Sports Arizona. D-backs baseball on Fox Sports Arizona is brought to you by CenturyLink, connecting you to the power of the digital world. By Tire Pros of Arizona, everything rotates around you. And by your Valley Honda dealers, where you'll get more standard features for less money. Brought to you by Jack in the Box. This season, D-backs home runs score free Jumbo Jacks only at Jack in the Box. By Chaz Roberts, Air Conditioning and Plumbing. Choose Chaz. by One AZ Credit Union. Let's bank together. And by Gila River Hotels and Casinos. The card by Gila River Casinos earns you rewards 10 times faster than ever before. Sign up for the card today. Well, the pressure's on in this National League West. Dodgers already leading at Milwaukee. D-backs behind Zach Godley need a win tonight to keep pace. First pitch against the Rockies is next on Fox Sports Arizona. Big crowd inside Chase Field tonight. It's Jake Lamb bobblehead night. No farm animals pictured here. Welcome to the broadcast. Steve Berthiaume, Gonzo, Kate Longworth along the way, Oscar Soria and Rodrigo Lopez on our Spanish language broadcast on Fox Sports Arizona Plus. Nice and comfortable inside Chase Field as the Bulls, Zach Godley leads the D-backs out onto the field. Game 2 of 3 against the Rockies after Colorado won a wild one last night, 11-10. The Rockies are rolling. They've won 6 straight, 14 of their last 17, Gonzo. And here's their lineup presented by your Valley Chevy dealers.
Yeah, it's a nice lineup for the Colorado Rockies. Pretty much same up top. Charlie Blackmon up at top, leading off. Gerardo Parra hitting second. Nolan Arenado in the 3 spot. Carlos Gonzalez, I'm sorry, hitting 4th. Trevor Story 5th. Ian Desmond 6th. Garrett Hampson getting his first major league start today, hitting 7th. Chris Iannetta hitting 8th. And Kyle Freeman on the mound.
Your Ram truck starter for the D-backs, the right-hander Zach Godley, 11 wins, an ERA just a tick over 4.5. And Gonzo, we saw Zach last Friday in Atlanta, outstanding, 1 run in 6 innings. He had 7 strikeouts.
Yeah, he's been really good for the D-backs, and when you look at the win-loss record, he's got 11 wins for these D-backs, and he's got a pretty good shot at trying to get 20 wins on the season if he continues to pitch the way he's been.
E.D. Marshall Jewelers gives us a look around the diamond at the D-backs defense tonight.
Well, the rotating outfield tonight is John Jay in left, A.J. Pollock in center, Steven Souza Jr. in right field, going around from 3rd to 1st. Chris Owings at 3rd, Nick Ahmed at short, Ketel Marte at 2nd, Paul Goldschmidt at 1st. Behind the plate tonight, Murphy, and on the mound, Zach Godley.
And with a lefty out there for Colorado, Freeland, no Lamb and no Peralta. They're on the bench to start. Paul Nart, the crew chief. is our plate umpire tonight, calling the balls and strikes. We've got Ramon DeJesus at first base, Carlos Torres at second, and the third base umpire is Scott Berry. Before we get going, Gonzo, time for your Valley Honda dealers key to the game.
Well, it doesn't matter what anybody says. All these games are real big. Save the series. They got to win this game today to try to get that series win tomorrow.
4 teams all within 4 games of one another in this very competitive National League West. And Charlie Blackmon leads it off for Colorado, batting .288 with 19 home runs. Dodgers already leading at Milwaukee 2-1. They're in the third. Giants at Oakland later tonight with Madison Bumgarner on the mound.
And Blackmon leading off today with DJ LeMahieu going on the disabled list.
Yeah, he's got an oblique suffered in the game last night. Garrett Hampson, the rookie, makes his major league debut at second in place of LeMahieu. Fastball from Godley's in there, and it's 1-1. There's that hard two-seamer. Blackmon last night, a pair of singles and a walk. He scored 3 times. D-backs have the shift on. He lines it right to Goldie. 1 away. Mentioned the division. Colorado, they're a season high 7 over 500 now. They're in third, but only 2 games back.
Yeah, and they've been playing real well. They were playing well going into the All-Star break and starting out the shootout last night that they had here against the Diamondbacks, winning that game. So they're feeling pretty good about themselves.
Yeah, that was a classic D-back Rocky game. Here's Parra batting second, .297 and 5 homers. First pitch curveball. Godley establishes that he will throw that for strikes. That's been a very effective pitch for him lately. Parra walked in both his plate appearances last night. Checked into the ball game about midway through. Zach doubles up on the curveball. He jumps ahead 0-2.
And Parra's one of them pretty good ball players. Steady guy. Was a great player here for the Arizona Diamondbacks. Has gone over Colorado and done the same thing. Just a plus outfielder out there. Defends very well in the outfield and done really good offensively for the Rockies.
Yeah, he's an important left-hand bat for him. They've got a lot of key right-handers and guys like Arenado and Story and Desmond. All curveballs so far from Godley. Rockies have not seen a lot of Zach Godley this year. He's faced Colorado only once so far and beat them. That was at Coors Field June 10th. Gave up just 2 runs in 5 2/3. Had 8 strikeouts. Ahead of Parra, a ball and 2 strikes. Reaches out, it hits Godley. Able to knock it down. And the underhand toss to first. Let's see if Zach's okay.
Well, they always talk about the pitcher trying to defend your position. He used his body that time to knock it down.
Looked like the fleshy part of the thigh, as they used to say in The Sopranos, right there.
His glove was in the right position, but his body was in front of his glove, so he couldn't get.
Well, that has been an issue with Zach falling off the side of the mound from time to time, but much better there. So quickly 2 down. Here's Arenado, hitting .316, and after last night now tied for the National League lead in home runs, RBIs, and OPS.
And he's a dangerous guy in the first inning.
First pitch curveball again for a strike, and again Godley jumps ahead 0-1.
This guy has 28 RBIs, most in the major leagues in the first, and 11 homers, which is also first in the major leagues.
Hit the first of his 2 home runs off Robbie Ray last night in the first inning. 3 batters in last night. It was 2-0 Rockies. That's fouled away. This was Arenado last night in the first and the 5th against Robbie Ray.
And he got a hanging breaking ball the first time, and then he got a fastball away and went with it down the right field line for his 2nd homer of the night.
His second 2-homer game this year. He's now hit 4 home runs against the D-backs this season. And Zach Godley, outstanding. Yes, he went. A 10-pitch first. D-backs coming up. Rockies, it's Kyle Freeland, the 25-year-old left-hander. And he's done a nice job for Colorado this year, Gonzo. 8 wins, a 3.11 ERA, unbeaten in his last 6 starts.
Yeah, he's got a lot of innings pitched there. 38 walks, 92 strikeouts. He's been one of their main go-to guys this season.
Valley Chevy Dealers has the D-backs lineup tonight.
Well, leading off for the Arizona Diamondbacks, John Jay hitting second, Ketel Marte in the 3 spot, Paul Goldschmidt, A.J. Pollock hitting cleanup, Steven Souza in the 5-hole, Nick Ahmed hitting 6. Chris Owings playing 3rd, hitting 7th. John Ryan Murphy in the 8th spot, and on the mound and hitting 9th, Zach Godley.
Now, this is the only left-hand bat in the starting lineup for Torey Lovullo. It's John Jay. Looks at a fastball off the plate, but it's strike 1. Jay, 276, 3 home runs. He struck out looking as a pinch hitter to end last night's series opener. That one's tapped foul. Quickly, Freeland ahead 0-2. Kyle Freeland always looking to generate weak contact. He's got 3 different fastballs. You'll see them all. The 4-seamer, the cut fastball, and that sinking 2-seam fastball. Change up and a slider off those fastball combos. This is lifted along the line. Parra on the run. He can't get there in foul ground. E.D. Marshall Jewelers gives us a peek around the diamond at the Rockies defense.
Yeah, in left field, the former Diamondback Gerardo Parra. In center field, Blackman. In right field, Carlos Gonzalez. At third base, Nolan Arenado. At shortstop, Trevor Story. At second base, Hampson getting his first big league start. Ian Desmond at first. Chris Iannetta behind the plate. And on the mound, as we talked about, the left-hander, Freeland.
D-backs, as we saw at the top of the show, just saw Kyle Freeland last week at Coors Field. He pitched well. Gave up just 1 run in 5 1/3. He starts off with a strikeout of John Jay.
Well, you see Freeland right here coming in with a heater right on the inner half. John Jay gets kind of tied up there.
A little bit of a change for Torey Lovullo tonight in that Nick Ahmed, who's batted second for most of the year against left-hand starters, drops to 6th. Then they get Ketel Marte's bat up there, the switch hitter, at 243 and 9 homers. Marte, after his night last night, looks like he might be heating up here. Fastball's in there for a strike. Last night for Marte, 3 hits, including his league-leading 9th triple. He knocked in a career-high 4 runs.
Yeah, and what he did so well was he hit strikes. He stayed away from pitches outside of the strike zone.
He's got another base hit to start this one off. A 1-out single for Ketel Marte. Here comes Goldie.
Well, he's really starting to swing the bat well. Well, here he gets an elevated fastball about belt high. Gets a nice swing at it.
And remember how important his bat was to the Diamondbacks over the final 6-8 weeks of last year. So he's aboard with 1 down for Goldie, batting .278 with 21 home runs. Talking with Torey Lovullo before the game today. They know what to expect here from Kyle Freeland. He will try and back off some of these right-hand hitters with fastballs in and then pick away with that backdoor slider and changeup. And so you see fastballs inside to Goldie to start off the at-bat. Now he might start trying to work that outside corner.
Goldie's been so good over the years at stroking that ball nicely into right center field if he gets that pitch away.
Chris Iannetta back there, the former D-back. Back in with a fastball, 2 balls and 1 strike. Goldie last night 0 for 4. He walked and struck out 3 times. Two and two.
Well, it looks like a different strike zone today with Paul Nauert behind the plate. That high strikes being called a little bit more this afternoon.
Scott Barry only called one last night. That was to end the ball game on John Jay. That breaking ball was up just a bit, but it ended the ball game. Freeland wants Iannetta run through the signs one more time. 2-2 to Goldie. Tried the change up away, missed badly, and it's full 3-2 with Pollock on deck.
He very rarely uses that curveball to the right-handed hitter, so he likes to move that fastball in and out occasionally with that changeup.
Going down and away here. And he dotted it. There's that backdoor slider. They started him with fastballs in, pushed him back off the plate, and then picked away with a breaking ball down and away for the strikeout.
There you see Iannetta sitting out there over the outer half.
Big night last night for A.J. Pollock. A career best 5-hit game. He doubled. He had an RBI. He scored 3 times. Now batting .304 for the year.
And I'll tell you, speaking from experience, I hate when you have a former player that's a catcher that played with you. He goes to play against you in your division because he knows your strengths and weaknesses. He's been watching it when he was here last year with all these guys.
You get a little paranoid?
I feel like when I'm in the box, he's thinking the same way I am because he's watched so many games and seen you play.
Sure.
Chris Iannetta's that guy. Now he's playing on the other side, so I can promise you he's exposing all the little secrets that he's learned from the guys on the Diamondback side, especially playing in the same National League West.
You can see that chart, the color-coded chart on Chris's wrist there. Certain pitches to certain guys in certain counts. Quick throw over to first. Marte back in time. Here's a look at the defensive alignment. StatCast AI powered by AWS. A.J. Pollock does not very often go to right or right center. So the Rockies have 3 infielders on the left-hand side. A.J. hits this one sky high, hanging up there for Cargo. We are through 1 D-backs and Rockies. No score at Chase Field.
Command. Feel like I found it. You know, I made some really good pitches to Story, really good pitches to Desmond. 1 pitch away from really only giving up 1 run, and just couldn't make that final pitch I needed to tonight. So pretty frustrating, but good news is I did blow the first game of the All-Star break last year, and we made the playoffs. So if that's a sign, then we're going to be okay.
Well, A is for Archie and accountability, and he's certainly looking on the bright side of things, but very commendable of Archie last night after that tough loss. We rarely see that from the reliever. He leads the National League with 26 holds, but last night found himself in a funk, but he had time, guys, to escape the media, but not Archie Bradley. He let us talk to Tori. He sat through that. He let us talk to Robbie Ray, sat through that, and then he addressed the media and in true Archie fashion explained what went wrong, but also kind of looked at the bright side of things. And both of you have been in a clubhouse after a tough loss. You want to get out of there as fast as possible. So I just think it speaks a lot of his character that he really wanted to talk to the fans through the media.
Cargo shatters the bat. Godley gets over to cover. 4 up, 4 down for Zach Godley so far. You're right, Kate. It was a bumpy ride, and at Gonzo, it seemed like time and time again last night, Archie was just one pitch away from getting out of trouble, but the bases loaded walk to Walters really hurt him, and then Toppy hits the pinch hit grand slam.
Yeah, and I think, that was just one of those games that he just couldn't find it there at the end. He kind of lost command. He threw a couple good pitches earlier and a couple hitters before that we thought were strikes. It just wasn't his night, and it's just one of those days. Accountability is when I see Archie, is he stayed right there. He took the blow there from all the media, and he's just accountable, and all your teammates can respect you for that. You don't run from the media when you have bad games, and you're standing there when you have good ones. He's there either way.
There's Trevor's Story. That cutter misses badly. It's 1-0. Story 293, 20 home runs. He singled and walked twice last night.
I think a lot of fans, getting back to Archie, fans respect you for that when you stand there in front of your locker. Nice breaking ball there by Godley. You stand in front of your locker and they saw the game, so you can't say, oh, I had good stuff and just missing. They saw the game, they saw what happened, and Archie owned up to it.
Bounce to shortstop for Nick Ahmed. There's that good two-seam sinker from Godley. 2 down for Ian Desmond.
First baseman, number 20, Ian Desmond.
Desmond's bat's starting to come around now. 234, 18 home runs. He doubled and scored last night, 1 for 5. First pitch curveball. We've seen a lot of first pitch breaking balls and even a changeup from Zach Godley first time through here. 10 pitch first inning, 2 outs on 5 pitches to start the second. And ahead of Desmond now, 0-1. Curveball misses. I think we kept waiting for Archie to get out of it last night, Gonzo. We got the strikeout of Story. Cargo had the RBI single. Then he got Desmond. And even with first base open, you lose power to load him up, you're still okay. But the walk to Walters, I thought, really hurt before Toppy hit the big grand slam. There's a breaking ball right at the knees for a strike.
Yeah, and I think Archie got a little frustrated too. He threw a couple of pitches that could have very well been called strikes to a couple batters there that were balls. And then he just tried to overthrow. He just lost command and kind of got him, out of his own sync and out of rhythm, and just started trying to fire in there and blow balls past these hitters, and these Colorado Rockies hitters are pretty good.
1-2 on Desmond. This is lifted pretty deep right field. It backs up Souza at the track to the wall, and he's got it. A 9-pitch second for Godley. No score at Chase Field. On the lottery, don't forget you can play from home right there in your Barca Lounger along with all of us here at the ballpark. Win half the pot, help kids in our community. Get your tickets online during every D-backs home game on Fox Sports Arizona at dbacks.com/50/50 raffle. And they show you the winning number of the post-game show. Big crowd expected tonight, already over $18,000. As Steven Souza Jr. leads off the bottom of the second against lefty Kyle Freeland. Souza 185 and a homer. 0 for 4 last night. He walked and scored a run. Picking away at the corners. That's Freeland. He lives on the edges. He usually has very good command. Doesn't walk a whole lot of guys.
And he tries to keep those hitters off balance. You think away, he comes inside.
Boy, Souza caught looking at a fastball. Third strikeout already for Freeland.
Hey, D-backs fans, a D-back home run today means a free Jumbo Jack tomorrow at participating Jack in the Box locations with the purchase of a large drink.
Here's Nick Ahmed, the shortstop, 226, a dozen homers.
I think Freeland's doing a good job right now of just moving the ball in and out on these Diamondback hitters.
He's got that little hesitation pause in his delivery. Story from shortstop makes a tremendous play. And a nice scoop by Desmond on the other end. Trevor Story, he's become one of the best defenders in the league at that position.
Boy, and I tell you, Nick Ahmed has been snake bitten here the last 2 nights. Seems like every ball he has hit, somebody's made a fantastic play on him.
And oftentimes it's been Trevor Story or Arenado at third. The Story, you always think about the power, the home runs with the bat, but he is an excellent defensive shortstop. Base is empty, 2 down for Chris Owings in there at third against the lefty tonight. CO 197 and 3 homers. See Freeland establishing that fastball. You'll see a lot of fastballs, as we mentioned. He's got 3 different ones, but once he does that, he starts working the second and third time through the order. You're going to see a whole lot more changeups. That changeup has been a very effective pitch for him lately. That was it right there. There's Hampson, the rookie, and he makes a tremendous play in his major league debut. No score after 2.
Diamondbacks knotted up at 0. Garrett Hampson making his major league debut today at second base. Makes a pretty nice play here up the middle to rob Chris Owings of a base hit.
And here he comes after that play to end the bottom of the second. Garrett Hampson will lead off the third, his first major league at bat. the 23-year-old rookie. Recalled from AAA Albuquerque today. His numbers between AA and AAA, having a good year. 305, 8 home runs. He can really run too. And here he is, his first at bat in the big leagues. Rockies had to put DJ LeMahieu on the disabled list today, a left oblique strain. After LeMahieu had to leave last night's game, he flew out to end the second inning. Hampson's got his family here. He's from Reno, Nevada, and he hits that one to Nick Ahmed at shortstop. He can really get up the line. Well, Godley, Gonzo, has set down the first 7 he's faced on 21 pitches.
Yeah, and really he's used a large variety. 4 curveballs first pitch to the first 7 hitters, a cutter, a sinker, and a changeup. So he's kind of mixing it up. There's no pattern to this guy.
And a 10-pitch first, a 9-pitch second. Retires Hampson to open up the third, and here's Chris Iannetta. First pitch curveball, really mixing it up with changeups, curveballs, cutters, sinkers, all to start these at bats. D-backs have the shift on against Chris. For his career, Zach Godley is unbeaten against the Rockies, 4-0 with a 2.76 ERA. Just under 30 innings versus Colorado. And one thing that's been true, Gonzo, and so far it looks to be the case again tonight, Zach in his recent starts much more under control. He's kind of slowed things down out there a little bit. He's got a steady tempo. Not pitching like a bull in a china shop, if you'll pardon the pun. And there's a good curveball. 2-2 on Iannetta. He's not spinning off the mound. The energy level that he's got, it's still there, but it's a little more contained.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I think when he uses all that energy falling off the mound and just going crazy out there, tends to get a little more worn out and tired. This is the second half of the season. He knows he has to maintain out there to be pitching late in the season for these Diamondbacks.
Try that sinker, missed upstairs, and it's full 3-2 with the pitcher Freeland on deck. Iannetta lifts that curveball to deep left center field. AJ runs it down. I'm sure Iannetta was expecting curveball right there, having caught Godley, as you mentioned.
Well, here's the first pitch. Here's a sequence here to Iannetta. You got a first pitch curveball, second pitch cutter, cutter again, curveball. It's that knuckle curve that he likes to throw, a little sinker, and then the curveball right there for the last out.
He likes to call it a spike curveball. Not sure there's much of a difference. Kyle Freeland, the pitcher. There's that sinker up. He looks at strike one. Big curve there, and it's 0-2. Godley trying to set down the Rockies in order the first time through. Swing and a miss. Zach Godley. 3 innings, 30 pitches. No score. D-backs and Rockies. Easy there.
Chris Snyder, and more. Your favorite for the annual alumni game in just 2 weeks, Saturday, August 4th, presented by Sanderson Ford. Alumni game festivities will start at 2 p.m. before the D-backs 20th anniversary celebration and game versus the Giants. Visit dbacks.com/alumni for more information.
And Gonzo, speaking of that, let's take a look back in baseball history presented by Geico as we celebrate the 20th anniversary D-back team. Tony Womack is the shortstop.
Oh, this guy was a pretty good player there. You see 182 stolen bases. Made my job a lot easier coming up to the plate every time he was on base.
Diamondbacks celebrating 20 years of D-backs baseball. The all-time team announced the other day as selected by the fans. And here's a look at the entire group. Gonzo in there as well.
Hey, you see a good mixture of the old school and the new school here for the Arizona Diamondbacks.
John Ryan Murphy, the catcher, will lead off the D-back third against Kyle Freeland, who had a 6-pitch second inning. And there's that curveball for a strike. John Ryan, 233 and 9 homers. This will stay fair for Arenado.
I tell you, he makes that play look really easy. It's not an easy play out there, folks. There's a reason why he straps that gold on his glove. He gets a tough hop right here at the end. You see him come up to get it. Looks the ball in. Makes a nice throw over to first base. Textbook.
He's opened his career with 5 consecutive Gold Glove seasons. Here's the pitcher, Zach Godley. I'm mentioning that all-time D-backs team. Shortstop was a tough one. It was close between Stephen Drew and Tony Womack. Drew got a lot of votes.
And I talked about it earlier, you know, just like in the All-Star game, there's always guys that get left off that you go, man, this guy was a really good player in the organization.
Well, Freeland, because he generates weak contact, he's not a strikeout guy. He's looking for pop flies and ground balls. He can be tremendously efficient at times. He's gotten the last 5 outs on just 10 pitches. And ahead of Godley, 0-2. That's tapped over his head. Here comes Story.
Fans, anytime a D-back scores 5 runs or more, Taco Bell is giving away 3 free tacos with the purchase of a large drink between 4 and 6 p.m. the following day at participating locations.
Well, Freeland has now sit down 7 straight. John Jay struck out to lead off the game for the Diamondbacks. He's going to give Zach Godley a moment to get back to the dugout and collect himself.
Well, I'll tell you what Freeland does really well when there's nobody on base. He's got that little pause right here. You're going to see it right there. When he's throwing, it makes it a little bit difficult for those hitters to kind of get that timing. Everybody works on rhythm and timing when you're at the plate. Tries to throw it off. A lot of Japanese players are very well known for that.
This one is slapped out to Parra, who's got it in left field. And Freeland has retired 8 in a row. A pitcher's duel here, a 7-pitch third for the Rockies lefty. No score, D-backs and Rockies. Hey, Sun Devil fans, don't forget ASU night is coming up Tuesday, August 21st here at Chase Field. You can join D. Baxter, Sparky, show your school pride. Get a custom D-backs ASU cap and a discounted baseline reserve ticket, all for only $25 with our special event ticket pack. Visit dbacks.com/ASU. Charlie Blackmon leads off the Rocky fourth against Zach Godley, who so far has set down all 9 batters he's faced, including Blackmon, who lined out to first to open up the ball game.
Well, let's see what adjustments these Rockies have made and what adjustments Zach Godley has made second time through the order.
Zach falls off the mound on that curveball, and now it's 2-0. There you can see Blackmon doesn't often go the other way, mostly a pull hitter, so the D-backs have 3 infielders on the right hand side. That curveball's been tremendously effective for Zach so far tonight, but he seems to have lost his release point here against Blackmon behind 3-0 with Parra on deck. He had thrown 12 curves, 10 of them for strikes before this inning. That cutter just did catch the zone away. It's 3-1.
And it's kind of weird how he throws it, because he falls off to one side and it kind of runs away.
Godley so far 6 of his 9 outs on 3 or fewer pitches. Both he and Friedland have been tremendously efficient so far. That cutter was in there. Paul Nart didn't like it, and the Rockies have their first base runner. He had missed badly on a few breaking balls, didn't get the call on this cut fastball.
Well, this one kind of rides up and away in the upper corner of the strike zone. It's called for a ball. You know, his mechanics are really something that you don't want to teach to a lot of younger kids coming up, because he really falls off and it's hard to field your position out there in the middle of the field, but it works for him and he's been successful with it in the major league. Sometimes you just don't touch it, you let him work through it.
So now he's in the stretch for the first time tonight with Blackmon at first base. Here's Parra. He tapped back to the mound his first time. Starts him off with a curveball. Here's the release on Zach Godley.
You see him, he'll kind of opens up and everything's falling over to one side.
We could see that spiked he calls it a spike curveball, the knuckle curveball. You can see that finger on top of the baseball as he delivered that in that last shot. Parra trying to bunt his way on. CO's on it, and they're able to move Blackmon along. Looked like he was trying to bunt there for a base hit, not so much a sacrifice.
Yeah, really not a bad idea. If you can bunt it to the left side of the mound, if you're looking from home plate out to the field, if you could bunt it towards shortstop, you'd have a base hit, because the way Godley falls off the mound, there's no way he can field that.
That may have been what Parra was thinking there.
Jake Lamb, I think he knows the way he falls off the mound, so he plays to that weakness that Godley has up there. Makes a nice play over at third.
Here's Arenado, who struck out to end the first. Zach here in the fourth so far, Gonzo, starting to fall off to the side a little more dramatically than we saw the first time through the order. Not quite as smooth as the first 3 innings.
Yeah, and I think what happens with him, he knows this is a veteran lineup for the most part, and you start overthinking now. You're trying to, you know that they're starting to make adjustments, and you start second guessing yourself. Do I want to throw this pitch? I think he might be sitting on it or waiting on this pitch. You try to be too fine up there.
That cutter kind of yanked it a bit. Now it's 2-0.
And this is what happens. You try to be too careful on certain guys, then you fall behind, and now that hitter becomes a lot more dangerous, because now he's sitting on certain pitches.
Well, maybe trying to mix things up a little bit more as he starts to work his way through the Rockies order for the second time tonight. Blackmon down there at second base, 1 out. Behind on Arenado, 2-0. Just dropped that pretty curveball in there for a strike.
That's a good pitch by Godley. 2-0 count. I think Nolan was looking for a heater. Got a breaking ball.
And Zach, 2 starts ago, a win here at Chase Field over the Padres. He overloaded San Diego with curveballs there. 81 pitches, more than half of them were curves, nearly all of them for strikes. And then last Friday, another win in Atlanta. Again, the curveball very effective for him. Tried one right there. Good block by Murphy. Godley behind now, 3-1 with Cargo on deck.
Well, I think he tried to snap this one too good, and then Murphy does a nice job getting in front of that and blocking it.
Some work to do here for Godley. Three and 1 to Arenado. That cutter again. That's the pitch that's really gotten him in trouble this year. He kind of pulled that one again, and now it's 2 on and 1 out for Gonzalez.
Well, and Godley's done a good job. His last 3 starts with runners in scoring position, 1 for 15. The hitters are, and that's an .067 batting average. He's got to be careful here. This guy, he stays off the plate, but what he tries to do is get his arms extended.
Cargo grounded out his first time up. Lackman is at second, Arenado at first, 1 out. That curveball, or changeup, pardon me, goes off Murphy, and both runners move up. Wild pitch charge to Zach Godley.
That thing had a lot of bite. It broke down a lot. The bottom just fell out of it. Cargo way out in front.
Just kicked off either Murphy's leg or his glove. And now it's second and third, 1 out. Cargo had a pair of singles and an RBI last night in the series opener. Again, he's missing wildly with that cut fastball. Remember, this pitch is coming in at the left-hand batter. Somehow it didn't hit him in the leg.
Barely. Cargo didn't make much of an effort to get out of the way.
A little tapper foul, went back to the curveball, and it's 1-2. Boy, this is a tough lineup to navigate your way through 3 times if you can get that far. You really got to think about sequencing and situations. What am I going to give them that I didn't show them the last time through?
Yeah, you got some pretty good professional hitters, and not only that, they all got power.
Oh yeah, big time. Well, he really spiked that breaking ball. Gonzo, it looks like here he's trying to force things a little bit.
Yeah, he's trying to be a little bit too perfect with some of his pitches. And you try to guide it or just try to overthrow pitches.
It looked like he tried to put a little extra oomph into that curveball and just spiked it. Story on deck. Swing and a miss on the curveball. That's the money pitch, and he got a big at number 2.
Let's look back at the sequence here on Carlos Gonzalez on this last at bat. Here we go. First pitch. Change up down in the dirt for a swing and strike. A ball on a cutter. Another curve ball down. The knuckle curve just bounced it, and there's the change up. Or curveball, excuse me, for a strike 3.
Nationwide Vision Centers, eye on the game. 2 on and 2 out for Story. He grounded out his first time up. Godley has walked 2 in the inning, trying to strand them both right here. First pitch curveball is in there. Story's a very dangerous hitter right now. Sitting on a career best 11 game hitting streak. He's batting over .430 during that streak. He's about as hot as they get right now.
These guys are fastball hitters, and he's really mixing in that breaking ball, kind of throwing them off.
And he's throwing it for strikes and also burying it at times. It's been a nice mix, sometimes to establish or steal that early strike, and other times to get guys to chase.
Yeah, these guys live dead red. If they get that heater, they're jumping all over it. With that curveball, he's been able to locate it and throw it in good pitch counts and throw it for strikes, like you said.
0-1. Couldn't get Story to offer at that one a ball and a strike. Dodgers leading at Milwaukee 2-1 in the 5th inning at Miller Park. Later tonight, Madison Bumgarner on the mound for the Giants at Oakland, where they are anticipating perhaps the biggest crowd in the history of that ballpark in their Bay Bridge battle. Now there's the cutter. That's the best cut fastball he's thrown all night so far, and he jumps ahead 1-2.
Boy, he threw this cutter in a perfect location, just off the plate, just out of the reach of Trevor Story's barrel.
Now if you're Story here, you got to be thinking curveball, don't you?
Well, I think he's going to look fastball and try to adjust on the breaking ball, because if he sneaks a heater by him, he won't be able to catch up to it.
Here it is on 1-2. Swing and a miss. He went to the breaking ball. Outstanding job by Zach Godley. He strands Rockies at 2nd and 3rd. He got Cargo, he got Story, both with curveballs. Here on a Saturday night, time for our Lowe's whole team together. Diamondbacks versus the National League West this year. 23-18, hitting .250 in the division and averaging about 5 runs a game.
Up against a National League West opponent, Ketel Marte leads off the bottom of the 4th. Against Kyle Freeland, who's coming off a 6-pitch second inning and a 7-pitch third. He had not thrown a ball at all in the previous 2 innings, but he's 1-0 on Marte. He did not go and hit him in the foot. So he's aboard to start off the 4th. Here comes Goldie.
That's a nice start for the D-backs right here. He tries to come in with a breaking ball and just bounces right off of Marte's foot there for a hit by pitch.
Goldie struck out looking his first time up. Marte aboard after singling in the first for the second time tonight. Boy, Freeland 30 pitches, 25 strikes. Goldie yanks one foul down the line, a fastball. And again, trying to crowd him in with fastballs and then work away with changeups and sliders.
Well, you're exactly right. He's going to get them to start thinking in, and then they're going to go right back out there, maybe with something soft away.
Comes in again with a fastball, and it's 0-2.
And Goldie right here, he's got to be looking for something over the middle of the plate. You can't guess in or out now. You got to protect with 2 strikes. You want to stay away from the ground ball, but you also want to move the runner over. So let's see if he can get a good pitch here to try to drive.
Tried to get him to bite at that low slider. It's a ball and 2 strikes.
Nice job by Goldie there, staying off of that pitch.
Another fastball in, and again he yanked it foul. Oh, he's right on that fastball.
Iannetta's doing a good job behind the plate. When he sets up inside, he's setting up off the plate. So the only thing Goldie's able to do with that heater is hook it foul. Goldie's hoping to get a mistake from Freeland out over the plate. If he gets that fastball out there, he can do some damage with it.
1 ball and 2 strikes. We'll keep an eye on Marte over there. Kyle Freeland hasn't lost since he was beaten by the D-backs in Denver. That was back on June 10th. In that start, gave up 4 runs in 6 innings. Did not have great command that time. He had 8 strikeouts, but he walked 4. He's had tremendous command here tonight. Nibbling away with a fastball that time, and it's 2-2.
Well, he tried to go backdoor on Goldie for a ball. Pretty close pitch there to take. Just off the outer half.
Going back out there again. Slider missed. Freeland wanted it. Or he wanted Goldie to offer at it either way. It's full 3-2 with Pollock on deck.
So he's gone out there the last 2 pitches. Let's see if he's going to try to tie him up here with something inside, because now he's got Goldie looking out over the plate.
Bud Black thought that was a strike. Paul Nart didn't agree. Here it is on 3-2. Again, fastball in. They go back inside.
Really, Freeland and Iannetta doing a really good job of keeping the ball in and out. Trying to keep Paul from guessing up there at the plate.
8th pitch of the at-bat right here. Again, tried the fastball away, worked a walk. 2 on, nobody out for Pollock.
Well, let's take a look at the pitch by pitch here to Goldie here. An 8-pitch at bat. First one fastball in, hitting foul. Second one fastball in. Third one a slider down. Fastball in again for a foul ball. Fastball away. Slider away. Another fastball in, foul. And then a fastball away for ball 4.
Well, that's what we call pulling a Goldie, starting out 0-2, working at full 3-2, and then getting the base on ball. So 2 on, nobody out for AJ, who flied out his first time up.
Yeah, and a nice job by Goldie too, making him throw 8 pitches in the at bat here. Freeland had been cruising along, not throwing many pitches.
That was our Nationwide Vision Center's eye on the game. A chance for AJ. And again starts him off with a fastball in. Kyle Freeland this year, one of the reasons he's had so much success is he pitches his way out of trouble. Opponents with runners in scoring position hitting only 177 against Freeland this year. A lot of that is because he's got good command. He generates that weak contact. He's starting to spray it around here in the bottom of the 4th. He's behind on Pollock 2-0. Now Iannetta wants a word.
Yeah, and I think just like Godley was doing, he's trying to overthrow and kind of trying to be a little bit too perfect here on certain pitches.
Yeah, it's getting away from him right here, and Chris has spotted that immediately.
He's really gotten in trouble now. 3 balls and no strikes. Freeland, just like Godley, last 4 starts 2 for 20 with runners in scoring position. So these 2 pitchers have found ways to get out of it. Let's hope it doesn't happen here this time for Freeland.
Freeland has hit a batter. He walked Goldie, now behind on Pollock 3-0 with Souza on deck. The bases are loaded and nobody out. Well, Gonzo, last night in the ball game, a whole bunch of offense, 11-10, but Steven Souza Jr. came up several times in key spots, and in what we thought was maybe an effort to try to do too much, jumped in the first pitch of at bats and got himself out, it seemed like.
Yeah, you're right. He tried to jump on first pitch that he saw. It didn't matter where it was at, what location. He was just trying to be aggressive early and ambush the pitcher. And really what he needs to do right here is just look for something that he can drive.
He's got a great chance. Here's Steve Foster, the pitching coach, as Colorado quickly uses up 2 mound visits as they feel it start to get away from Kyle Freeland, their left-hander. Souza struck out looking on a fastball his first time up. Last 10 games for Steven since he came back the second time from that pectoral injury. He's got 5 extra base hits and 5 RBIs since his return from the DL. And a big spot right here. Bases full, nobody out. He's left 31 runners on base in his last 10 games. Looking for that big hit. Marte is at third. Goldie at second and AJ at first. Oh my goodness, Paul Nart. That was way inside, and he's been missing in there the whole time, and as Steven says, that was not close.
Yeah, he's been calling that pitch a ball to the last 2 or 3 hitters here for the D-backs.
Yeah, this entire inning that's been a ball.
And I guarantee Iannetta, he framed that last pitch to AJ Pollock, and I'm sure he told him, and it was off the plate. But I'm sure he told him, I got to have these pitches.
And that really changed the hole at bat, as Bob often likes to point out, because then he got a fastball in the strike zone, had to take a hack, and now he's down 0-2. Slider is low. Now the key, it seems, Gonzo, for Steven, and this is something it looks like he has trouble with from time to time, is brushing off that bad missed call and just kind of dealing with it and moving forward. Don't let it throw you off the hole at bat.
Yeah, he's got to relax right here and get a good pitch to hit.
Another fastball in, just pounding in with fastball to these right-hand batters.
We like to call that an emergency hack right there. That ball was by him. He just barely got enough of it just to foul off the pitch and make him live for another pitch right here.
Freeland had not thrown a single ball in the second or third inning, but he's hit a batter and walked 2 so far in the 4th. Base hit. Marte scores. They're going to stop Goldie at third. It's 1-0 D-backs. RBI single for Steven Souza Jr.
Boy, nice job by Souza. That's got to feel pretty good for a guy that's been struggling a little bit here the last couple of days with runners in scoring position.
Especially, Gonzo, the way that at bat started for Steven with that first pitch.
Yeah, it really did. First pitch right there in for a strike off the plate. Another fastball up, slider down, fastball in. He just barely got a piece of it, and then he got another heater right down the center part of the plate and able to hit it into center field for a base hit.
Nationwide Vision Centers eye on the game. Tony Perez-Chica not taking any chances with the potential for a big inning here. He stopped Goldie at third. Bases loaded, still no outs. Here's Nick Ahmed. Nick jumps on the first one, hits a little blooper along the line. Desmond gets there in foul ground. Here comes Goldie. Here's the throw. He's in there.
A nice base running by Goldie there to get around it. Boy, Nick Ahmed needs to give him a big hug for that one. He picked up a sacrifice fly there on a foul ball down the first baseline. Nice play by Desmond, but he saw the first baseman running away. Here you see it right here, the swing. Desmond makes a pretty good catch, but he's running away from the plate. Goldie takes a chance and goes around the outside and gets his fingertips in there to touch home plate.
I mean, that had looked like trying for the sweep tag here. Sees Goldie already by him. No chance to get him. Now they're in the corners with 1 out. 2 runs are in, and Chris Owings is the hitter. Goldie goes tumbling into home with a second D-back run.
Boy, and I tell you, everybody in the dugout probably holding their breath when they saw Goldie diving in there like that at home plate. He's not a guy you want to see making that type of dive.
Here's CO, who grounded out to end the second his first time up, in there at third base today against the lefty Freeland. Chris has hit safely in 3 straight games and 5 of his last 6. A hustling run there by Paul Goldschmidt. There's another base hit. AJ is home. RBI single for Chris Owings, and it's 3-0 D-backs.
Boy, another nice piece of hitting by the Diamondbacks. Looks like they're trying to use the middle of the field now. There you see it, center cut fastball. He just stayed right on it, right back up the box.
Boy, Gonzo, it's hard to imagine Kyle Freeland had a 6-pitch second inning, a 7-pitch third inning. He did not throw a single ball outside the strike zone in either of those innings, but he is imploding suddenly here in the 4th. A chance for Murphy.
Oh, and he threw some good pitches to Paul Goldschmidt earlier, but Goldie wasn't biting on him, just off the plate that they were called for balls. Just kind of opened the inning up. They're laying off those tough pitches that they were swinging at earlier in the game.
Kyle Freeland through the first 3 innings of the ball game tonight threw a total of only 28 pitches. He's thrown 23 pitches here in the 4th. Fastball fouled away, 1-1. John Ryan, when he was really hot in May, hit .295. He homered 5 times. But since the end of May, in his last 30 games, he's batting .202, so he's cooled off a little bit. Chance to pick up the pace and add to this 3-run D-backs 4th. 2 balls and a strike, a changeup in the dirt.
Boy, they're really doing a better job here the second time around, staying off some of those tough pitches that Freeland was getting called earlier, living off the edges. Some of the hitters done a great job hitting it right back up the middle. Freeland trying to work in and out.
Some really good at bats here. As we saw last night, you can never have a big enough lead in a Diamondback Rocky game. Doesn't matter if it's Denver or Phoenix, you got to score as many runs as you can. So far for Torey Lovullo's ball club, a 3-run 4th, still only 1 out. The pitcher Godley on deck. 2-2 on John Ryan Murphy. There's that changeup that he's worked in a lot more frequently lately. He's had a lot of success with it, a lot of strikes.
Well, you're right, talking about both these teams, they really keep you on the edge of your seat, because
sure do.
First 3 innings looked like it was going to be a pitcher's duel, and then Zach Godley kind of struggled in the 4th, was able to get out of it, and here we see Freeland on the ropes right now.
Almonte, the right-hander, Russin, the left-hander, busy in the Rocky bullpen. 28th pitch in this inning coming up from Kyle Freeland. He threw 28 in the first 3 innings combined. Murphy sends it out deep right field. Cargo backing up at the track. He's got it at the wall. And Souza has to hustle back to the second, tag up and go to third. Steven was about halfway thinking that one might get down there. But Gonzalez had it into the wall, and now they're on the corners with 2 down for Godley.
Yeah, Ryan Murphy hit it good, but deep enough out there. Souza kind of realizing he may have a chance to catch it. He runs right back, makes a nice tag to get to third base.
John Ryan drove that one pretty deep opposite field. It's out number 2 though, and here's Godley, who has 1 RBI, 3 base hits on the year. He's got Souza at third, Owings at first, and 2 outs. First pitch swinging, drives it deep to center. Blackman's out there, backing up. The D-backs come up with a 3-run 4th inning. RBIs for Souza, Ahmed, Owings. We head to the 5th to chase.
to the 5th inning. Diamondbacks on the board with a 3-0 lead, in part to Steven Souza Jr., who finally came through with runners on scoring position with a big RBI single the last half of that inning. And that is big news for Steven Souza Jr., who has gone out there each at bat. I think we've seen it on his face, how much he wants to impact the ball and impact the game for the Diamondbacks. And Torrey said, due to his injuries, Steven Souza is kind of going through what a lot of new players will go through with a team. During spring training, they go out there trying to impress their new team. Then once April starts, the season rolls along, well, they go out there trying to impress division opponents, the new league, trying to show what they can do out there. And sometimes you can start to do too much. So Torrey's message to Steven Souza Jr. was to just go out there, be yourself, have fun. He said too many times he's trying to get that big hit, trying to hit the ball out of the ballpark. But the last at bat, guys, he kept it simple and he got the job done.
He sure did, Kate, even after a couple of bad calls in the at bat. The big RBI single, part of a 3-run fourth. And the lead for Zach Godley. Desmond takes AJ deep in center under the home run porch. It's off the glove. And Desmond around second. He's headed for third. AJ had to go a long way to get to that one out by the pool. And it turns into the first hit for Colorado, a leadoff triple.
Boy, nice effort here by AJ. Got a breaking ball in the outer half. Desmond, known for his power, drove it out there to the deepest part of the ballpark.
AJ had that wall bearing down on him. Just off the tip of the glove. Second major league at bat now for the rookie Garrett Hampson, making his major league debut at second base. DJ LeMahieu on the DL. Hampson rounded to short in his first big league at bat. There's a curveball that missed. Hampson, as we saw when he grounded out, can really motor. He got up that line awfully quickly. There's a cutter in there for a strike. That pitch is looking better for Zach lately.
Yeah, nice pitch on the outer edge.
Hampson played all of last year in A-ball. He was playing in the Cal League last year. And he hit .326. He stole 51 bases last year. He can really run. This year he split the season between AA and AAA. And he hits one deep to left field. John Jay will play it off the wall. This will get Desmond home. And Garrett Hampson has an RBI double for his first major league hit.
Well, this guy's hit everywhere he's gone. He started the season out in AA, hit well, AAA. There you see his family.
Yeah, they're here from his hometown of Reno, Nevada. Played his college ball at Cal State Long Beach.
And he got a hanger and he didn't miss it.
Just missed a home run.
Got his first major league hit there and first major league RBI.
He was a third-round draft pick by the Rockies only 2 years ago out of Cal State Long Beach. First double, first hit in his major league career. Here's Chris Iannetta. So much for the shutdown inning for Godley. He yanked another cutter out there. Iannetta flew out to center his first time. Hampson with that speed will advance once Godley tosses it underhand to first base. He'll take third. And that's the first out here in the Rocky fifth.
The day after every D-backs win, get 50% off all pizzas at regular menu price using promo code DBACS50 at papajohns.com.
Gonzo, it seems like Zach Godley, whenever he gets a comebacker hit back to him like that, he kind of runs it over there and it does a little underhand toss. You rarely ever see Zach just throw it over to first base.
Yeah, and there's a lot of pitchers that have problems throwing to first. And, you know, a couple years ago, they stopped doing the 4 pitches for a walk.
Yeah. I mean, every time you see this from Zach, there's no right or wrong here. Just this seems to work for him.
Yeah, I think sooner or later teams are going to start to realize and take advantage. John Lester can't throw over to first base, and he's been able to, you know, work his way out of a lot of jams like that.
Well, for a while there, they literally had Lester throw it on a hop, bounce it into the ground to try and throw it to the bases on purpose because he was so bad.
Yeah.
And we've seen other guys have issues like that. Matt Garza. But that's a thing to keep an eye on for Godley. You see the infield is in for the D-backs with Hampson, great speed at third, 1 out. Freeland wanted time, didn't get it. He looks at a curveball for strike 2. Made a little motion to Paul Nart, the plate umpire, who did not grant time. We got a strikeout here. That's a big second out with Hampson down there at third and Blackman on deck. Swing and a miss. He waved at a curveball. 5 strikeouts for Godley. 2 down in the 5th.
Boy, nice pitch by Godley there. Curveball down in the strike zone.
Now he's got to get Blackman facing him for the 3rd time tonight. So far, Blackman has lined out to first and walked. Ahmed will play almost right behind the bag at second. Owings near the bag at third.
This will be a big out right here if he can get it and hold that runner at third base. A 3-1 ball game.
Well, Godley came up with a couple of tremendous at bats in the 4th inning when the Rockies had second and third, 1 out. He struck out Cargo and Story to end the threat. And now here in the 5th with 1 run already in, trying to strand Hampson down there at third base. That cutter just missed in a little bit for Paul Nart. It's a ball and a strike on Blackman. Blackman has a 4-game hit streak going. He's had 2 hits in each of his last 4 games. Multiple hits in 6 of his last 7. Now a curveball drives it deep to left. It's over the head of Jay and in the seats. The ground rule double it. It's 3-2. RBI for Blackman. That's the 3rd extra base hit in this inning by Colorado.
Boy, he just hung one over the middle part of the plate. Blackman just stays on it, shoots it out to left center field.
Well, you were really hoping for the shutdown inning here. Now suddenly it's a 1-run ball game and Mike Butcher is out to the mound. Big day for Garrett Hampson. An RBI double in his 2nd major league at bat. Well, like we said, you can never score too many runs in a D-back Rocky game. And now Godley will deal with Gerardo Parra, who is 0 for 2. Good news from Milwaukee. The Brewers have come back to take a 4-2 lead over the Dodgers. They're in the 7th inning at Miller Park. Giants and A's underway. Scoreless 2nd inning at Oakland. There's the score from Milwaukee. Clayton Kershaw against Chase Anderson, the 2 starters in that one. Here's Parr. He's grounded out twice. Giants have Madison Bumgarner on the mound against the A's tonight. NL West, 4 teams all within 4 games of the division lead. D-backs a game and a half behind LA. Rockies are 2 back.
Another nice pitch down in the strike zone. Those lefties are having a hard time staying off that breaking ball down.
And that changeup just kind of darting down and away from the left-hand batter.
You saw Cargo do the same thing earlier.
Well, we went to a pitcher's duel and a D-back Rocky game broke out. This one going more according to script here. In the bottom of the fourth and now the top of the fifth. Lots of offense, extra base hits. Pitchers trying to work their way out of difficult spots.
It seems like the pitchers showed up early and now the hitters got here a little late in the ball game.
Yeah, that second time through the order for both starters, Freeland and Godley, has proved to be a problem. That curveball rolls away from Murphy and Blackman jogs into third. Second wild pitch of the ball game for Zach Godley.
He's thrown some pretty good curveballs tonight, and then he's also spiked quite a few. So John Ryan Murphy's had his share of blocked balls tonight. That one hits off his left shoulder.
Well, that ball has got so much spin on it from Godley putting the action on the baseball that as soon as it hits Murphy, it just spins away from him. Not much John Ryan can do but try to block it. 2-2 now. Two outs, Blackman at third. This is low with a curveball. Full count, 3-2. Arenado on deck.
Looks like Parro's kind of cut down a little bit on his swing once he's gotten 2 strikes.
Godley shakes off twice, wants the curveball here on 3-2. Parra now steps down.
I think Murphy wanted to give the changeup one more time and he shook him off.
They got the same sign twice, didn't like it either time. So here we go. He wanted to throw that curve, he missed with it, and now he'll face Arenado with runners in the corners. Third walk of the ball game issued by Zach Godley.
Fans receive 15% off the Chase Field team shop when you use the card from Gila River Casinos. Sign up for the card today.
Arenado has struck out and walked. He homered twice here last night. 2 runs in for Colorado. Blackman's at third, Parra's at first. Well, you put yourself in a tough spot here. Arenado is hitting .370 in July. He's already got 15 RBIs in 14 games this month. Tied for the National League lead in runs batted in. And up there in an RBI spot right here. Cutter missed away. 2-0. He's behind 2 balls and no strikes. You see Arenado with 2 outs and runners in scoring position, about a .350 hitter this year.
That's got to be way above league average right there. Pretty good player.
Lands that curveball for a strike on 2-0. This is kind of gonzo what happened with Archie Bradley last night. You're thinking, all right, 2 outs, you're basically 1 pitch away, but then suddenly you look up and it's a 6-run Colorado 7th. Godley still trying to get that last out.
Well, he's definitely had to throw a lot of pitches this inning, more than he's wanted to.
Good curve ball right there. Arenado way out in front. 2-2. Now he's a strike away. Got him. Good cut fastball. Godley strands two, but the Rockies get two. It's 3-2 Diamondbacks.
Three to two, bottom of the fifth. Now let's take a look at pitch by pitch here. Nolan Arenado, first pitch change up in, fastball away for a ball. There you see another breaking ball away, and then Nolan Arenado fastball away. Really, you never really see him look that bad on two at bats. He's got 2 strikeouts on the day on Nolan.
Our nationwide vision center's eye on the game. Fastballs up high from Kyle Freeland. John Jay leads off the bottom of the fifth, 0 for 2 so far. John Jay, the only left-hand bat in there, leading off, and this one slices just foul.
Let's see if the D-backs can respond here. They scored 3, and then the Rockies come out in the top of the fifth with a 2 spot. And
yeah, Freeland was hanging by a thread in that fourth inning as Mike Butcher goes over things with Zach Godley. Freeland remarkably threw a 6-pitch second, a 7-pitch third inning, and then threw 29 pitches in the fourth when the D-backs scored 3.
And I think a lot of times these pitchers try to overanalyze and overthink. The hitters will get themselves out sometimes.
Bud Black had a right-hander and a left-hander warming up in the bullpen. That fastball's in, 2-2 on John Jay. Here's the Rockies skipper. His club has won 6 games in a row, 14 of their last 17. Really playing well right now. John Jay tries to dunk one in front of Parra, but Parra runs it down. 1 out in the fifth.
And Parra was playing really shallow out in left field.
We've seen John Jay get base hits out there a whole bunch of times this year. He'll go to left and left center a lot.
Really, Parra was giving him all to left center field.
Ketel Marte. He has single. He was hit by a pitch. He scored a run. Trying to throw that changeup. He's not had any luck with that pitch, Kyle Freeland.
Oh, he's kind of lost command of that pitch.
You see Marte, the switch hitter. He's about 300 from the right-hand side of the plate. He's got power that's really bipartisan, right and left. Slider misses up, and it's 3-0 with Goldie on deck. Freeland hit a batter and walked 2 in that 4th inning. They all scored. That represents all 3 Diamondback runs. Here's the 3-0 to Ketel Marte. Just caught the edge of the strike zone. 3-1. Ketel last night 3 hits. He knocked in a career high 4 runs. Big swing on that slider, and it's full 3-2.
Yeah, I think he's feeling pretty good at the plate. He took a big hack at that one.
Marte is one of these guys that really has a knack for extending these at bats. I mean, he's up there all the time. 7, 8, 9 pitches. Pretty impressive for a guy who's still only 24.
Another good at bat by Ketel Marte.
That's the 3rd walk issued by Freeland, and now here's Goldie. And Gonzo, there's not a whole lot for Goldie to show for his night so far. A strikeout and a walk. He did score a run, but the strikeout in the 1st was a 7-pitch at bat. The walk in the 4th was an 8-pitch at bat. He was down 0-2 in that AB. So he's made Freeland so far throw a total of 15 pitches in 2 at bats.
Yeah, and I think his 2nd at bat, that base on balls, was the one he really made him work. And then after that was where the D-backs were able to capitalize on some runs.
Just need a moment for Ketel Marte to put his oven mitts on down there at first, and we're set to go. Trying to backdoor that slider and missed. It's 1-0. How about that? The electronic scoring, Gonzo. She's way ahead of us.
That's how I'd like to do it right there. I might have to sit up there with her one day.
Don't need a pencil sharpener when you got that thing. That's nice. When Kyle Freeland was cruising right along, and he's hit a speed bump in the 4th and now the 5th. He's missing badly here. Yanked that fastball. It's 2-0. Freeland's season did not begin well. By the end of April, he was 1-4. But suddenly he flipped the script since the calendar turned to May. In his last 13 starts, he's gone 7-2 with an ERA about 2.5. He's really pitched well. Again, goes to the backdoor slider, gets that one in there. It's 2-1.
He's basically trying to overthrow. He's thrown everything away to Goldie except for that one fastball up. See what he's going to want to do here. He may try to come in and try to tie Goldie up. He's going to stay out there on the outer half.
That's by Arenado and into left. Base hit for Goldie. Well, you're right, Gonzo. They really changed things up after just pounding it in the first 2 at bats. They stayed away.
Well, they thought they can get him thinking inside to kind of cheat a little bit in there. Goldie does a good job staying in the middle of the field, gets a pitch away, and he still drives it in the 5-6 hole between short and third base for a base hit.
2 on, 1 out for AJ. He's flied out, walked and scored. D-backs about hit Colorado 4-3. You've got Marte at second, Goldie at first, and 1 out. Boy, that one almost got Tony Parachica down there at third.
That was a bullet, had some hair on it.
And they want to try and be patient with Freeland. The first 3 innings of the ball game, Freeland only threw 3 pitches outside the strike zone, just 3 balls in 3 innings. But since the start of the 4th, he's thrown 22 balls. So he's really lost his command. Jammed him just a little bit. Lazy fly to center for Blackman. Marte will stay put at second. And that's the second out. Here comes Souza. Stevens struck out looking in the second, had an RBI single in the 4th. 2 on and 2 out.
We'll see if Souza can do it again here. Had a big base hit in the 4th inning.
It was in these spots last night where he got really aggressive very early in the count. Let's see if he stays patient here as Freeland struggles with his command. Jumps on the first one off the glove of Arenado. Marte coming in. He's going to score, and it's 4-2. Souza jumps on the first one. And he's got his second RBI tonight.
Boy, and I think the key for Souza as he's swinging at strikes. He got a good pitch to hit right here, middle in, 92 miles an hour, and he just turns on it. Just out of the reach of the diving Arenado, off his glove, really.
Boy, that's the second time in this inning, Gonzo, after the Goldie single, that they somehow managed to get one just by Nolan Arenado at third. You don't see that a lot. 4-2 now, still 2 on, 2 out. Here's Nick Ahmed. Nick knocked in a run his last time. Fly ball to center for Blackman. D-backs tack one on. 4-2 as we head to the 6th. As we start the 6th inning, fans, MLB at Bat is your #1 D-backs app. You can customize your experience. Catch every moment this year. Get D-backs home screen icons, features like the MLB.TV game of the day, pitch tracking, in-game highlights, live radio broadcast, stats, news, the whole thing. Download MLB at Bat today. Steven Souza Jr. Gonzo, an RBI single.
Yeah, and really the only play they have here, that ball hitting off of Nolan Arenado. If it's hit directly to left field, he might have got held up because of Parra's strong arm out there. He's got 88 outfield assists. Not many third basemen even get a glove on that play.
But Arenado, in a sense, just slowed it down, and that allowed Marte to come in from second with a fourth D-back run. As Carlos Gonzalez, little squib shot. Godley, tough throw over to first, and this is becoming an issue. This is becoming a problem for Zach Godley, throwing the ball to first base. We talked about this in the previous half inning when he runs over there, tries the underhand toss. He had plenty of time to make that throw and just couldn't get it done.
Well, this is what happens right now. He just got exposed, so I know everybody in that Colorado Rockies dugout right now, they're talking about making him move out there and make him field the ball. I guarantee you the coaches are in there right now talking about it.
That's an E1. Gonzalez aboard to start the sixth. Trevor Story now.
And really, if more guys start bunting the ball over towards the third base side of the mound where he has to field that ball.
Story is grounded out, struck out. Sinker's in there for a strike. Well, you know, Zach, with his work ethic and the way that he works at his craft, he's going to figure out a way to get over that. Story knocks that one into right field. Cargo will head for third. And the Rockies open up the sixth inning with runners in the corners and nobody out. Story's now hit safely in 12 straight.
Oh, he got a pitch away, didn't try to pull it, just stayed on it, hit it down the right field line.
Well, second time that you look for the shutdown inning, and right away Godley's in trouble. Look at Trevor Story. Last 39 games he's hit almost 370 and cut way down on those strikeouts.
Oh, that's a nice there. 40 games, 39 games, 367.
Desmond tripled and scored his last time up. This is bounced through the hole and into right. Gonzalez is home. It's 4-3. Story headed for third. And right away Godley on the ropes to start the sixth.
And just think this inning started on a routine ground ball right back to Godley.
Yeah, just a tapper back to the mound. Here's Desmond with his second hit tonight. All this on only 4 pitches. Mike Fetter's in the bullpen. And Mike Butcher to the mound as they aim to stop this thing and figure it out. This is the way it went after the D-backs scored 3 in the bottom of the 4th to take a 3-0 lead. Colorado came right back top 5 and scored 2. Godley got a big strike out of Arenado to end that threat. And then the D-backs tack on a run, bottom 5, and right away the Rockies get it back, and Godley's in trouble again with nobody out.
Yeah, and this has been a problem for the D-backs 30.9% of the time after they score the second half of the inning. The opponents, the 6th highest in Major League Baseball, teams coming right back to score runs.
You really got to get those shutdown innings. Here's Silvino Bracho, who was outstanding last night, came on to end the 6th inning, got 2 big outs. Garrett Hampson, the rookie second baseman, making his major league debut, got his first ever hit. An RBI double in the 5th his last time up. What a jump by Desmond, and he goes in unopposed at second. Caught Godley napping.
Oh, they got him exposed. He didn't want to throw the ball to second base.
And now Story's dancing his way down to home plate from third base.
He had plenty of time to throw to second. He just couldn't make that throw.
Desmond just took off and basically looked him in the eye and said, "I dare you to throw it." Look at this jump. Godley steps off, but he's got that runner at third in the back of his mind too.
Steve, I just think he didn't want to throw that ball. You got to make that throw to second base. Don't be surprised if you see the Rockies do that again if Godley's out on the mound.
Andrew Chafin joined Silvino Braccio. Both those guys pitched in the ball game last night. Rocky's smelling blood in the water right here. Godley bounces the curveball behind 2-0. A throwing error on a routine comebacker to the mound. Singles by Story and Desmond, then a stolen base. Second and third, still no outs. A run is in. Each team with 5 hits. Seems like he really overthrows that cutter far more often than not. It's way out there. He's thrown it for strikes a couple of times tonight, very effectively.
I just think he's lost his concentration after that error and a couple base hits there and that stolen base with him not being able to throw. Starting to weigh on him.
Here's the 3-0 to Hampson. He's loaded the bases. A throwing error, 2 singles and a walk, and Torrelvello has seen enough. We'll take a break. It's 4-3 D-backs. D-backs fans, remember, if you can't watch the D-backs games on TV, you can stream them live on your mobile device. Use Fox Sports Go. It's brought to you locally by your Valley Honda dealers. Download the free app. Take Fox Sports Arizona. And the D-backs with you wherever you go. A messy 6th inning for Zach Godley, who has loaded the bases on only 8 pitches. A run is already in. Still nobody out. And here's Silvino Braccio, who was outstanding last night, Gonzo. Came on in the 6th inning with 1 out. He struck out Murphy, the pinch hitter, got Valleca to fly out to end the Rockies' threat, and now he's in a bases-loaded mess right here.
Yeah, he's been really good since he's come up, and now we're asking him to do a lot here to try to get us out of this mess. A lot of traffic out there on the base paths.
And Zach Godley started this game off perfectly. A 1-2-3 inning in the first, second, and the third. Set down the first 9 he faced. But he has labored ever since, and now Braccio inherits the mess. The batter is Chris Iannetta. Chris has flied out and grounded out. 0 for 2. D-backs hanging on to a 1-run lead. That one rolls away. Here comes Story, and we're tied. A slider from Bracho in the dirt. Wild pitch.
Oh, not the way we drew it up right here. Ball in the dirt. John Ryan Murphy's had to do this all day. Seems like he's been blocking a lot of pitches. That one couldn't keep it in front of him. Kind of shoots off towards the D-backs dugout. An easy run scored.
Bracho was so outstanding last night. He got 2 outs on just 7 pitches, including a strikeout. But now it's a 4-4 ball game. Second and third, still no outs. Infield comes in for the D-backs. Slider misses 2-0. Every time the Diamondbacks scored and took the lead, Colorado has answered. Fastball fouled back. Been a quiet month for Chris at the plate. He's hitting only a .160 in July. Struck out in his only at bat last night. 0 for 2 so far tonight.
He was known here for a good catcher behind the plate, but he did provide some huge offensive numbers for the D-backs last year.
One clutch base hit after another, it seemed. A change up in. 2-2 on Chris, back where he started his career in Colorado, and he's done very well against the Diamondbacks in 8 games this year.
And I think he's very familiar with a lot of the pitchers that he has to face.
Oh, you better believe it. Rockies were the team that drafted Chris Iannetta out of North Carolina back in 04. He's a Rhode Island native, makes his offseason home in Wrentham, Massachusetts, right next to Foxborough. That fastball showed up as a strike, but Murphy had to go so far out there to get it that Paul Nart didn't bite. Now it's full 3-2.
Well, usually if you miss location by a lot like that, you're not going to get a strike call. John Ryan Murphy even had to come out of the crouch to get that pitch.
Yeah. The pitcher Freeland is in the on deck circle. This is popped way up in the air behind shortstop. John Jay runs in. Everybody stays put. And that's the first out in the Colorado 6th.
Well, that's a big out because now you got the pitcher coming up, but they're going to use a pinch hitter here.
And it will be Raimel Tapia as Freeland goes back to the dugout, and we're painfully aware of what Tapia did as a pinch hitter in the ball game last night in the 7th inning against Archie Bradley. Tapia is announced. He's a left-hand batter, and this was the grand slam that was the big hit in the ball game, a pinch hit grand slam. And so once Tapia has been announced, Torey Lovello out there to get his left-hander, Andrew Chafin. So we'll take a break in what is now a 4-4 ball game. pitcher, hoping the bullpen can get him out of this 6th inning in what is now a 4-4 ball game. Fans, secure your seats now. Big games in September coming up. You don't want to miss these. It's a dogfight in this National League West. D-backs will host the Cubbies here in the middle of September. And then the Rockies are back September 21st and the 23rd. And then the Dodgers. These are going to be critical games down the stretch, so get your tickets right now. Reserve your seats at dbacks.com. Raimel Tapia will be the pinch hitter for Colorado. Here's Andrew Chafin. Chafin walked the only batter he faced in the ball game last night. That was Pat Valleca in the 7th inning. Tapia had the big pinch hit grand slam last night in what turned out to be a 6-run Rocky 7. He's only 4 for 14 this year. He spent almost all this season at AAA Albuquerque.
He's swinging at ball 2 right there. He kind of helped us out.
Trying to hit another grand slam with only 2 guys on. So they hit for Freeland here. The lefty Jake McGee has started warming up in the Rocky bullpen. Desmond's at third. Hampson with great speed at second. 1 out. Infield in. Sliders in the dirt. I don't know if you're a subscriber to the Athletic website. There's some terrific stuff on there. Zach Buchanan wrote a wonderful piece about Andrew Chafin, who can build or fix anything inside his shed back at home. He can take apart engines, put together whatever you need. It's a really fun read. Very mechanically inclined. Broken bat, he's got it, and they will double off Desmond. How about that? Well, Andrew Chafin, just the right gear for this engine, and we get out of the 6th inning. But the Rockies get 2. We're tied at 4. Right back at you, broken bat. Desmond hung up at third. Rockies and D-backs 4-4, but a terrific ending to the top of the 6th inning. Andrew Chafin comes in to face Tapia and turns 2. Not exactly a conventional double play, but we'll certainly take it.
Yeah, he comes in second and third, gets that soft line drive right back at him. Was able to turn the double play, throwing it over to third base.
Boy, really got that in there on the fist and broke his bat right to him, and Chafin throws over to third. And now the new pitcher for Colorado after Tapia hit for the pitcher Friedland, the lefty Jake McGee. A 6.15 ERA, his 40th appearance this year. Owings Murphy pitcher spot due up.
Man, and we're only in the bottom of the 6th. It's been a roller coaster ride already in this ball game.
Now you're thinking, okay, why does Bud Black go to the lefty here? Because you've got Owings and Murphy coming up, 2 right-hand batters, but then you've got the pitcher's spot behind those 2 guys, and because they had a lefty out there, Friedland, it's mostly left-handers on the bench for Torey Lovullo. You've got Lamb and Peralta, and so Bud Black thinking ahead to that 3rd batter in this inning for the Diamondbacks as Owings leads it off. CO an RBI single his last time up. He's 1 for 2, and they're at 3rd base tonight. Big crowd here at Chase Field on a Saturday night. Kids get in free all weekend. That applies tomorrow. Bring the kids down here tomorrow. Watch Zach Greinke pitch against the Rockies in what should be a big ball game. All weekend long, D-backs have been offering free tickets for kids 15 and under for this series. Fans get up to 2 free kids tickets with a purchase of 1 full-price adult ticket for sections all over the ballpark. And that applies tomorrow with Greinke on the mound in the series finale against right-hander Antonio Senzatella. So come on down, bring the kids 15 and under. 2 of them get in free. That's a great deal.
It really is.
And we got a big crowd here tonight. Just about almost 40,000 in fact.
Nice night tonight. Jake Lamb bobblehead night.
And they owed Jake Lamb a good bobblehead. They really did. After what's going on in his bobblehead career. As Owings waves at a slider. I mean, Jake, because the lefty Friedland was out there, not in the starting lineup, but you remember his bobblehead last year. This is the good one. Now, this is the one they handed out today. That's a really good looking bobblehead right there.
Yep.
Actual baseball stuff on it, as Jake pointed out. He's got the shin guard on there, the red jersey.
Good pictures of him on the box.
There's John Ryan Murphy 0 for 2. Now, in the past, Jake has frankly, let's face it, not had great bobbleheads. The last year there was one of him and a Lamb. And then the other one was him in a Coyotes hockey jersey.
Yeah.
So he's kind of gone 0 for 2 so far. But he's got a really nice one handed out today. I think I got a couple of Gonzo bobbleheads in the collection at home.
They make great doorstops, don't they?
They're proudly displayed in the home. I know BB's got boxes of his in his garage.
Oh, absolutely. He hands them out as Christmas gifts.
Yeah, he does. Thanks a lot. Did you sign it? No. Oh, all right.
Go by his house on Halloween. You get most kids get candy. BB's handing out bobbleheads.
More pizzas. Story at shortstop. So McGee erases the first 2 right-hand batters. Now he'll face the lefty Daniel Descalso, who will hit for the pitcher Chafin. Jorge De La Rosa warming up at the Sanderson Ford bullpen. Let's go down to Kate. Kate, what about that Jake Lamb bobblehead?
Yeah, guys, I can tell you that Jake was very excited that this bobblehead, he's actually holding a baseball bat in his hand. He's not taking as much heat from the team. Of course, in a matter of 15 months, he's had 3 bobbleheads, which is very exciting. But the first one, he said he was a zookeeper because, of course, he was holding that lamb. The second one, he said he was a hockey player. And now, finally, he feels like he's graduated. Now he's an official baseball player with an official baseball bobblehead. But for every bobblehead game, he does have his mom fly into town for the big game, and then he sends a couple boxes back with bobbleheads for cousins and extended family. So it's a big day for him. Maybe we'll see him later in the game.
As Descalso is up there against McGee. Daniel 258, 9 home runs.
I could just see his mom handing out the bobbleheads with the lamb.
Oh, you can. His mom's here a lot wearing her Lamb jersey. It's funny because the roommate Archie Bradley, he got a great bobblehead which commemorated his triple in the wild card game, so that had to be salt in the wound for Jake. But Archie got this great bobblehead of him doing something as a batter. And there's Jake Lamb's bobblehead where he's basically a shepherd. And Jake was funny about that. He said about Archie's bobblehead, did he have a triple in the wild card game? I'm not sure. He never mentions it.
I'm sure those guys have a pretty good time rooming together, living together, really.
Yeah, there's a lot of fun stories. It should be a sitcom, really. By the way, we've heard from the mountaintop. Beebe has texted saying he will give out all the bobbleheads they want, but he's keeping the pizzas. Yoshi Hirano joins Jorge De La Rosa, the Sanderson Ford bullpen, 2-2 on Descalso.
He's a big deli guy too. I've seen him at the deli before. I
think he likes to go down there just to argue with those guys.
Yeah, they're great guys too.
Do you go to the same one?
I've been there before, yes.
Now, they're all guys from Detroit, right?
Yes,
Michigan. They're big Tigers fans and stuff?
Very much so.
All right.
I told Beebe a while back, I need to get back in there. Those guys are a lot of fun just to go in there and harass. There's a lot of trash talking in there in a good way.
McGee missed with a fastball. Paul Nart didn't bite. Descalso works a 2-out walk. Here comes John Jay, who's 0 for 3.
Well, we say this every game with Descalso. He gives you a professional at bat every single time. He finds a way to get on base.
Yeah, if there's a list of guys you want up there with the game on the line, he is on it.
Well, and you're throwing him out there. Okay, you're pinch hitting, and you're pinch hitting against a lefty. So how many times does that really happen to guys?
And Descalso has done a good job. He's about 350 this year versus left-hand pitchers.
He's got some home runs against him.
Yeah, he's got 3. Oh boy, there's Story. He is a really good defender out there. Jake Lamb bobblehead night here at the ballpark. Another D-back Rocky game. We're tied at 4. To our friends at Vienna Beef, our new partners at Fox Sports Arizona. They fed our whole hungry crew out there earlier this afternoon. They set up their hot dog stand right by our TV truck. Vienna Beef, it's Chicago's best tasting hot dog since 1893, and it's now available here in Arizona. And if you don't think these are good, just ask our producer Brian Henry, who was down there. Brian, how are they? And Mickey made sure he got one. Here's JD. Our thanks to everybody at Vienna Beef, the hot dogs to feed the crew before the game today. Hot dogs and hot tubs. 4-4, 7th inning. Jorge De La Rosa on to start.
I thought you were going to show a couple of the guys in the hot tub there relaxing after eating some hot dogs today out there.
That's the way to do it. Have a hot dog at the ballpark and then enjoy the hot tub.
Well deserved for all those guys in the truck and on the cameras. These guys do a great job for us.
And those Vienna beef hot dogs, those are the real deal, now available here in Arizona. Chicago's best tasting hot dog, a Chicago style dog here in Phoenix. Blackman leads off the 7th. Speaking of Chicago, Bob Brenly is back Monday, 1st of 4 against the Cubs. BB will join us in Chicago at Wrigley Field. Right now he's on hiatus leave. I think he's climbing the Himalayas. Little roller to first for Goldie, but he did text in and wanted to thank you for filling in. Wanted to wish our beloved friend Dennis Lamb all the best as he recuperates from his temporary illness. So
we miss Dennis up here in the booth and running around down to the dugout.
So Dennis, hopefully he'll be back soon. But we'll see BB again at Wrigley Field on Monday, 1st of 4 against the Cubs. Here's Parra. Also want to give a big shout out to Andy Fritz. Andy is down with a bum knee. We've missed him at the ballpark all year long. Because Andy comes up and he gives us broadcasting tips. He comes in, he has some notes for us every game. So we've missed Andy's presence here in our booth. So Andy, get well soon.
We got a lot of guys on the recovery road.
Yeah, we do.
We need to get them all back in here. They're on the DL. We got a DL for the guys in the booth.
Scott Oberg, the right-hander, starts to warm up. We saw him in the ball game last night. We saw Jorge De La Rosa as well. Was very efficient. He worked a 1-2-3 9th inning. Got a couple of strikeouts last night. Each team 4 runs on 5 hits. I don't think it's a coincidence that BB rejoins us in Chicago, where they're of course famous for their Chicago style pizza. I think he planned it that way.
No, he knows where all the good pizza joints are all the way around the cities, everywhere we go.
He's got one in every city. One and two. There's the splitter from Jorge. I wonder if Gracie was eating those Vienna beef hot dogs when he was playing for the Cubs. I know he had one earlier today.
He's a Chicago style kind of guy. I know he never turns down food.
That's true. Look out. Fastball up and in. I think he went down there earlier today with Jody before the ball game. Full count, 3-2. Parra is only about 190 this year versus lefties. Fastball just missed away. It's a 1-out walk.
Sunday, July 29th, the celebration of the D-backs 20th anniversary continues as Fox Sports Arizona brings you a new show on the D-backs 20th anniversary team, debuting on Sunday, July 29th after the D-backs and Padres game right here on Fox Sports Arizona.
Well, Torey Lovullo went to Jorge De La Rosa to face the 2 lefties. He got Blackman, he walked Parra. Now here comes Arenado. It's back to the bullpen and back after this. 4-4, seventh inning inside Chase Field. What's next brought to you by CenturyLink, the series finale. Zach Greinke on the mound tomorrow against Antonio Senzatella, who is back in the Colorado rotation. He's been in the minors and the bullpen this year. D-backs live pregame show at 12:30. First pitch 1:10 on Fox Sports Arizona. Then it's off to Chicago and San Diego. Starting on Monday, first to Ford Wrigley Field. New pitcher for the Diamondbacks, Yoshi Hirano, his 47th appearance. What a signing this guy's been, Gonzo. A 2.20 ERA. He'll face Nolan Arenado with Gerardo Parra at first and one out.
Yeah, he's really been one of the unsung heroes to where the D-backs are right now this season. He's done a fantastic job of holding for the closer, Brad Boxberger.
Arenado so far has walked and struck out twice. He's 0 for 2. Yoshi has given up only one earned run in his last 15 games at Chase Field. Parra will run. He's got 7 stolen bases this year. Fastball just a little off the plate. Arenado didn't like it. It's 0-1. Paul Nart, the crew chief, calling balls and strikes tonight. Oh, come on. That's right there.
That's a makeup call right there.
Well,
that's really.
Either way, it's a ball and a strike. You can pick which one you want to call a strike. That was one. Didn't get it that time. Right there at the knees.
I don't know how much better you can split the plate right there. That was right down the center of the box, the lower part of it.
I mean, Yoshi throws the split right there so often that Arenado might have been surprised by that fastball. And so it's just looking. Now he's ahead 2-1. Arenado, big night last night. 3 hits, 4 RBIs. He homered twice. Tied for the National League lead in homers, RBIs, and OPS. Big cut at a 2-1 split, and Yoshi is even 2-2.
Here's that split finger. You see it right out of his fingers. The bottom just drops right out of it.
Now a final in Milwaukee. The Dodgers lose. Brewers beat them 4-2. Kershaw got the loss. Arenado launches one deep left center field. AJ got it. Two outs.
Well, if you play the game long enough, they always tell you to watch the hitter. He'll let you know if he got it or not. You see Nolan watching it. He knows right there he didn't get enough of it.
Well, you gotta love his intensity. It is something else to watch that guy as often as we get to see him.
Every single day. I mean, if you've got a young player that wants to learn how to play defense in the infield, you need to come out early and watch him take batting practice. He fields every ball at third base like it's a game type situation.
Shift is on for Cargo. Parra bluffs and holds at first. Gonzalez tonight 0 for 3. He has grounded out, struck out, and reached on a throwing error by the pitcher Godley. That's why the shift is on. He doesn't often go the other way. Although he did have a base hit down the third base line in the 8th inning last night. Every once in a while he'll shoot one that way. Boy, every time Parra gets down there, he just wears Goldie out. Never stops talking. Splitter caught the corner, 1-1.
This guy's a tough out too. They've been keeping the ball down on Cargo.
Our center field camera. Parra takes off. Gonzalez lines it to right center. And AJ can't get there. It drops in. Here comes Parra. Pollock can't pick it up. And the Rockies have a 5-4 lead. Let's make sure everybody's okay out there.
The D-backs all probably would have been better off if that ball got by Pollock, because Souza was right behind him.
Let's have a look.
See that split down.
Parra running on the pitch, so he scored easily. See, AJ couldn't pick it up there, Gonzo.
Yeah, he kind of took his eye off the ball. He's looking at the runner. Parra's running on the pitch.
Stu Cole waves him home from third. So it's 5-4 Colorado, just the 6th hit for the Rockies. And here's Trevor Story. Story singled and scored his last time up. He's 1 for 3.
Well, these guys, the Rockies, they strike in a hurry, don't they? They get 2 outs and they just seem to find the big hit when they need it.
It was 3-0 D-backs after 4. Colorado 2 in the 5th, 2 in the 6th, now 1 here in the 7th. And Gonzalez down there at second. 2 outs, a 2-0 count on Story, who's riding a career best 12-game hit streak. Lays off that splitter. It's 3-0. Desmond on deck. Yoshi's already walked 1 in the inning, and they'll give Story the free pass. Been a good night for Desmond. Tripled and scored in the 5th, and an RBI single in the 6th. He's 2 for 3. Cargo at second, Story at first, 2 outs. Lines it to short. What a pick by Nick Ahmed. Wow. Glove save and a beauty. But the Rockies take a 5-4 lead. takes a 5-4 lead. Tomorrow, game 3 of this series, televised in Spanish on the Fox Sports Arizona Plus channel. The great Oscar Soria and Rodrigo Lopez. Coverage starts at 1 o'clock, presented by your Valley Honda dealers, and streams live on the Fox Sports Go app. Find the Plus channel listing at foxsportsarizona.com.
El mes de mayo con los juegos en español de los Arizona Diamondbacks, así es que mañana uno más, Rodrigo, en esta campaña. Mañana juego de día, otro juego.
Chaz Roberts, air conditioning and plumbing, cool play of the game. How about that pick, Gonzo, by Nick Ahmed at shortstop?
Well, that's a big league play right there. Keeps his eye on the ball, knows he's going to get a tough hop. Makes a nice play, good firm throw over to first.
Just so quick with that glove. Keeps it a 1-run deficit here as Ketel Marte leads off the bottom of the 7th. New pitcher for the Rockies, the right-hander Scott Oberg. We saw Oberg work in the ball game last night. He struck out Goldie, gave up a double to Pollock, and got Souza to pop up in the 6th inning. All that on only 7 pitches, a 2.89 ERA on the year. 1-1 on Marte, who has singled, been hit by a pitch, walked, and scored twice. He's been busy batting in the 2-hole tonight.
Well, the Rockies have thrown a punch here in the top of the 7th. Let's see if the Diamondbacks can come back with a counter punch.
Changeup misses badly, 2-1. Marte, a big night last night, 3 hits. He drove in a career high 4 runs. One of his hits, his 9th triple of the year, that leads the league. Oberg snags this one. Here's Goldie. Paul has struck out, walked, singled, and scored a run tonight. He's 1 for 2. He faced Oberg in the 6th inning last night, as we mentioned. Oberg struck him out. Goldie had one of the key plays of the ball game. He walked in the 4th. He was at 3rd when Ahmed hit this foul pop up to Desmond track down, and Goldie tagged up.
Well, I tell you, this play right here will make your manager, general manager, fans, everybody have a heart attack in the stands seeing that slide right there by one of your key players.
And you know, we talk about this all the time, Gonzo, with BB, and that Goldie is absolutely textbook in the way he slides. That pop-up feet first slide all the time. That was one occasion where he probably needed to slide like that around Chris Iannetta. That one's fouled away.
Yeah, he saw Iannetta come up the line and out to go get the throw, and he realized the only way he could get to the plate was to do a head first slide.
There you, wow, look at you two. I can go down there and take a selfie with you.
You can. You stand right there where it says stand here.
Is that how that works? Thanks.
Right there. Thank you.
It's very confusing. Slider missed. It's 2-2. You can't, when people know that you're up here, it's like a parade. They don't need the cardboard cutout. They get pictures with you, the real thing.
I wish they can bring food up here to us every now and then. Dennis isn't here. He's usually the popcorn guy. He's really good at that.
Down there getting the cactus corn. Goldie caught looking at a 98-mile-an-hour fastball. Oberg struck him out last night. Got him again tonight. 2 down now for AJ.
Well, he pits Goldie everything away in the at-bat. A lot of sliders, 4-seam fastballs.
AJ walked and scored in that 3-run Diamondback 4th. He's 0 for 2. Coming off his 5-hit game last night, the first of his career. How about these numbers for AJ against Scott Oberg? Not bad.
Yeah, that's pretty good numbers right there. He's got a home run, a couple strikeouts. Other than that, he's really done some damage. Hitting .500 against him.
Saw that fastball coming. Rockies have 3 infielders on the left-hand side, and there's the numbers to support that. See the rookie second baseman Hampson playing his first major league game on the shortstop side of the bag, right in the middle of the picture. Giants trailing at Oakland 3-1. They're in the 6th. Dodgers lost tonight at Milwaukee. This is a big game for the D-backs. Lays off a fastball away. It's 2-1. Cell phone lights starting to flicker. Big crowd at Chase Field tonight. D-backs have been out hit 6-5. They trail at 5-4. Funny thing about those cell phone lights, once the first one goes, everybody jumps in. The number of lights increases exponentially in a matter of 3 or 4 pitches. 2 balls and a strike. He didn't go, says Ramon De Jesus. 3-1 with Souza on deck. Now the lights are really going here. Trying to get this offense going.
Let's see if he can get a mistake pitch here with a 3-1 count.
He missed with a fastball. It's a 2-out walk.
You could see there the way the strike zone was. AJ Pollock wasn't so sure it was going to be called the ball.
Here comes Souza. Now it's time for Built for Baseball, brought to you by T-Mobile. A chance for Souza, who has a pair of RBI singles tonight. 1 in the 4th and 1 in the 5th.
He's hit the ball hard his last 2 times up. Both of them resulted in RBIs.
Saw the slider laid off, but it's strike 1. And Steven up off the interstate now at 202. Just 10 games since he's come back from the DL. Fastball's high. It's a ball and a strike. Long look down at Tony Perez-Chica, coaching at third. Boy, AJ's got that big, thick oven mitt on that fractured left hand down there at first base. Pretty soon, they're going to just start wrapping guys up in bubble pack when they come back.
It's crazy, all the extra gear that these guys carry.
I mean, those oven mitts, they get bigger and thicker as the years go on. Look at that thing. Souza knocks it into right. His 3rd hit tonight. AJ flies for 3rd, and he's in there. They need that bat, Gonzo. It's starting to wake up.
Yeah, it really is. He's hit the ball hard his last 3 at-bats now. He got a pitch over the outer half, 96 miles an hour. Just shoots it into right field. Nice piece of hitting.
Singles in the 4th, the 5th, and the 7th for Steven Souza Jr. Big spot for Nick Ahmed. Down a run. They're on the corners with 2 outs. Nick so far 0 for 2. He's got an RBI.
And Nick's been pretty aggressive swinging here his last couple times up.
First 3-hit game of the year for Steven Souza Jr. Right center, Blackman won't get there. It's in for a base hit. We're all tied at 5. How about Nick Ahmed? Boy, you thought, Gonzo, after the catch that Blackman made late in last night's ball game, he might get to that one, but it dropped in for a base hit. 5-5.
Well, Nick's been pulling the ball a lot more this year, so he's playing a shade over towards the other side. Nice piece of hitting by Nick. He's been aggressive all night long early in the count.
Now we'll get Steve Foster, the pitching coach, out to talk to Oberg. Remember the sliding grab that Charlie Blackmon made for a key out in the game last night. That one found no man's land. Souza hustles into third. He's the go-ahead run. Here comes Chris Owings.
Boy, Nick Ahmed, we talked about him being aggressive. All 4 ABs tonight. He swung at the first pitch.
Boy, with 2 outs, suddenly Oberg walks single, and now the go-ahead run's 90 feet away. CO had an RBI single in the 4th. He's 1 for 3. I don't know how any of us survived 19 of these games a year between these two teams.
Oh, the Rockies have it all the time, playing 81 at Colorado.
Cell phone lights have worked. Trying to get Souza home from third with 2 outs. Look out! It knocked the glove off Oberg. Can he recover? What a play! What a play by Oberg. A line shot back up the box. Knocked the glove clean off, but somehow he recovered, and he keeps it 5-5. Wow. Impressive play by Scott Oberg.
Yeah, it really was. Most pitchers would panic in this situation. He got a line shot rocket right back at him. Loses his glove, but has enough composure to make a sliding play and a perfect throw over to first base to get Chris Owings.
I mean, he scrambles back there quick as a cat, all in one motion, almost like a shortstop. Slides, barehands it, and just does get Owings, who hit that thing like a rocket back up the middle. It should have given the D-backs a 6-5 lead. Instead, it's still 5-5 as we start the 8th.
Yeah, and most pitchers would have thrown that down the right field line. It would have been a couple runs.
Good point. Garrett Hampson making his major league debut tonight. Leads off the 8th. Yoshi Hirano back out there. Hampson's first big league hit was an RBI double in the 5th. He's also walked. 3rd round pick by Colorado out of Cal State Long Beach in the draft only 2 years ago. He's got a lot of family and friends in the ballpark tonight to watch his major league debut. There's the splitter. Don't see a whole lot of those in the Cal League. There they are from Reno, Nevada. The Hampson clan. 23-year-old rookie Garrett Hampson. Hampson at second base. Rockies had to put DJ LeMahieu on the DL before the game today. He strained his left oblique in the ball game last night.
Take a peek at his numbers in the minor leagues. This guy's has hit everywhere he's gone in a short time out of college. So they're hoping they can get that same type of offense from him here in the big leagues.
Yeah, this year he has split the season between Double-A Hartford, playing for the Yard Goats, and Triple-A Albuquerque, and between the two stops 305 and 33 stolen bases. Iannetta on deck, pitcher spot behind him. Called strike three, a splitter up, but it's in there, one down.
Very nice pitch by Hirano there, getting a split. It stayed up in the strike zone, but enough to fool the hitter. Hampson learned real quick they got split fingers up here in the big leagues.
Iannetta 0 for 3. Pitcher spot up next. Noel Cuevas has come out of the on deck circle. He would hit for Oberg. There's that split. 0-1. High in the air, right center. Souza calling for it. 2 outs.
Celebrate the D-backs 20th anniversary team on Saturday, August 4th. Enjoy a pregame celebration with members of the 20th anniversary team and get a special edition T-shirt courtesy of Gila River Hotels and Casinos. Gates will open at 1:30 for the annual alumni game presented by Sanderson Ford. Visit dbacks.com for ticket information.
Well, now Cuevas goes back to the dugout. A look inside the Sanderson Ford bullpen. Archie Bradley, after that rough outing last night, starts to get loose. Cuevas goes back, and Tom Murphy will be the pinch hitter. He struck out in a pinch hit appearance last night. Murphy 278, only 19 games with Colorado this year. And he launches one deep to left and gone. Once again, a Rockies pinch hitter comes up with a late home run. Last night it was Tapia, the grand slam. Tonight Murphy, the solo homer, and it's 6-5 Colorado.
Well, he didn't want to sit around and waste any time getting any of those split fingers. And he's been throwing them up in the strike zone. That's another one right there. It just stayed up.
Yeah, left that one in a real bad spot.
It's almost like a knuckleball. If you see it high, you want to take a pass at it. He saw that split finger up in the zone. First pitch, didn't wait around.
Here's Blackman. He's walked. He's got an RBI double. This has been a rough series so far for the Diamondback bullpen. And remember how this game started out. Zach Godley opened up with 3 perfect innings on 30 pitches. He retired the first 9 he faced. Since then, the Rockies have 6 runs on 7 hits, 5 extra base hits, 6 walks, 1 was intentional, 3 wild pitches and a throwing error, all by Diamondback pitchers. So ever since Godley got that final out of the 3rd, it has been a really tough night. Murphy wants it up. It's right there. But Murphy's homer makes it 6-5 Colorado.
Leading 6-5 on the home run by Tom Murphy. Jody Jackson, Mark Grace, we're getting set for the post-game show. D-backs Live presented by CenturyLink. This D-backs offense, though, has been showing life lately, especially late life. Hopefully that's the case tonight.
And they're going to need it again tonight, Jody. Unfortunately, hiccups by the starting pitcher, and that would be Zach Godley. Hiccups by the bullpen again tonight. So once again, offense is going to have to try to come to the rescue.
And they have the capability to do that for sure. We'll talk about it all in the post-game show. We'll have reaction, and we'll talk about an unearned run that looms large as well, guys.
Okay, guys, thanks. Here's Adam Ottavino on to start the bottom of the 8th inning. Ottavino worked the 8th, part of the 8th and the 9th last night. Got his 3rd save of the year. Rockies got a home run from their catcher named Murphy, and here's the Diamondbacks version, ahead 2-0. Rockies played last night without their closer Wade Davis, who it turns out was back in the hotel with a stomach bug. He wasn't even here in the ball game last night, so Ottavino got the final 4 outs and got his 3rd save. He's missing here, 3-0. Ottavino 1 1/3 last night, did throw 27 pitches. Peralta on deck. He will hit for Hirano.
Well, the Rockies threw another punch in the top of the 8th. We got a counter punch one more time.
I like that. It worked when he said it last time. There's your 3-0 strike.
And the Rockies have scored in the 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th inning now.
Well, even if Davis is here after the stomach bug sent him back to the hotel last night, there's very little chance he's at full strength if he is available to pitch. I guess we'll find out. Full count, 3-2. Murphy looks at a couple of fastballs.
Well, I think the way these first 2 games have gone in the series, there's a lot of managers in both dugouts with the stomach bug right now.
I bet. Peralta will hit for the pitcher. Full count, 3-2. Here it is. Boy, Murphy was ahead 3-0 and struck out.
Boy, he just waved at this breaking ball that just starts over the middle part of the plate and just continues to dive out.
Here's David Peralta. A 4-hit game last night, including 2 doubles. He scored 3 times. Batting .289 with 16 home runs. D-backs trail it 6-5. Each team with 7 hits. Slider misses away. So Peralta now with a 4-hit game and a 5-hit game, both this month. And both here at Chase Field.
Oh. I tell you, he's been pretty inconsistent with that strike zone. We've seen that a lot here the last couple days, and we saw it on the road the last couple games of the series.
You can never gripe about borderline calls either way, but that's not a borderline pitch. 1-1. Got that slider down to the back foot, and now Peralta's behind a ball and 2 strikes. Diamondback could really use this game. The Dodgers lost at Milwaukee. The Giants are trailing at Oakland. Brad Boxberger starts to get loose in the Sanderson Ford bullpen. Brewers beat Kershaw at Miller Park 4-2. Bumgarner trailing at Oakland 3-1. Yanked a fastball, and it's 2-2.
It's a good day if these D-backs can come back in this game, gain some ground.
Get back to within a half game of LA for the NL West lead. Give them more cushion on Colorado and San Francisco. Got him on a fastball, 2 down.
Tonight, the premier Mexican soccer team Xolos de Tijuana come to Fox Sports Arizona as they face Guadalajara. Catch all the action tonight at 10 p.m. right here on Fox Sports Arizona.
Base is empty, 2 down for John Jay, who's 0 for 4. Ottavino threw a breaking ball up last night, struck out Jay looking to end the ball game in the bottom of the 9th. Slaps it a fastball. It's 0-1.
He's really trying to stay out of the middle of the plate.
I don't think it means anything for a guy like John Jay to hit with 2 strikes. He's perfectly comfortable in these situations.
Oh, he's had enough of them in his career.
Really good 2-strike hitter. And even if he doesn't get a base hit, he's just got a knack for extending to get bats. Here's a look at Moskam from behind home plate. That's a tremendous play by the rookie Garrett Hampson, making his major league debut. What a play. Family and friends in a ballpark. Garrett Hampson keeps it 6-5. Was the big hit of the ball game so far. Another pinch hit home run by Colorado. This one, the catcher Tom Murphy, a hanging split from Yoshi Hirano. And right now that is the difference in a 6-5 ball game. Each team with 7 hits. Our Gila River game summary. Colorado, they have scored in 4 consecutive innings after the Diamondbacks led this one 3-0. And now Brad Boxberger is on to start the 9th, trailing 6-5. David Peralta replaces John Jay in left field. Peralta will bat 9th, pitcher spot now first for the Diamondbacks. And Boxberger on to face Parra, Arenado, and Gonzalez, 2, 3, and 4 in the Rocky 9th.
Well, you want to hear a crazy stat here in the first 3 innings combined, both teams 1 hit. In 4 through 8, 13 hits. First 3 innings, no runs. 4 through 8, 11 runs have been scored.
Yeah, Zach Godley retired the first 9 Rockies he faced on 30 pitches. And then after that, it has been one after another. And Freeland, through 3 innings, had given up only 1 hit. Here's Parra. He has walked twice and scored. Ground ball to second. Marte is there. 1 pitch, 1 out for Boxberger. Diamondbacks will have the big boys coming up in the home half of the 9th. Marte, Goldie, and Pollock 2, 3, and 4. There is action in the Colorado bullpen after Ottavino got the final 4 outs last night when Wade Davis was back in the hotel with a stomach bug. And there is the Colorado closer. So we'll see how much Wade Davis has left in the tank. He got a $52 million free agent deal to become the Rockies closer. Here's Arenado. 0 for 3 with a walk.
You got to try to hold them down right here and go into that bottom of the ninth, down by 1.
Goes back to your key to the game, Gonzo. Save the series. Colorado trying to clinch a series win tonight. The Rockies have already won 5 straight series, all against teams with records of 500 or better. It's the first time in franchise history that Colorado has ever done that. And a win tonight would make it 6 in a row. It would also get the Rockies to 8 games over 500, a season high. And they would move only 1 game behind LA for the NL West lead. Dodgers lost tonight at Milwaukee. The D-backs would also drop into 3rd place. Oh, excuse me, check swing foul. It's 2-2. The Diamondbacks have never been in 3rd place this season. This is game number 99.
Wow.
They're only a half game ahead of Colorado. With the moment the Rockies with a win would leapfrog Arizona, and Torey Lovullo's ball club would drop into 3rd place for the first time this year. That's going to reach the seats out of play. It stays 2-2. Add to the equation the Giants. They are trailing at Oakland now 3-1. They're in the 7th. So Kershaw started for LA and lost. Bumgarner started for the Giants. They are losing. D-backs have Greinke on the mound here tomorrow. Change up way inside. It's full 3-2.
Well, when the D-backs come up, they got the right part of the batting order coming up for them.
They sure do. 2, 3, and 4. Davis warming up in the pen. Hard to short. Ahmed is there. Whereas Torey Lovullo always tells us if he hit the ball to Nick Ahmed, it's an out. I mean, it's remarkable how consistent he is. Doesn't matter where the ball is hit, how hard it's hit, what kind of funny hop it takes. You just start to take it for granted after a while. Here's Cargo, an RBI double his last time up.
Well, and I tell you one thing, the guy hitting at the plate last night, he made a mistake on a routine ground ball to second. I've seen every one of the Rockies today. Ground balls routine to guys, they've been all running him out to first base.
Yeah, Cargo didn't run, broke his bat, pops this one up to left. Here's Peralta. So here we go. Wade Davis coming in. 6-5, D-backs trailing. Clayton Kershaw, Miller Park in Milwaukee. Down 2-1 in the 6th inning. The Brewers' Christian Yelich ties it up with a home run to dead center. And then later it's Keon Broxton. Brewers ahead at this point 3-2. They go on for the 4-2 win as Kershaw loses at Miller Park, despite the fact the Dodgers out hit Milwaukee 10-7. They got an early lead against Chase Anderson, but the Brewers eventually got to Kershaw. And the Giants are losing in Oakland 3-1. They're in the 7th. Here the Diamondbacks are down to their final 3 outs. They trail the Rockies 6-5. And here is the closer, Wade Davis, who had to leave yesterday. He went back to their team hotel with a bad stomach bug. Was not even at the ballpark last night when Adam Ottavino closed a 1-run game, got the final 4 outs. So we'll see what Davis has got tonight as he faces Marte, Goldie, and Pollock 2, 3, and 4 in the Diamondback 9th inning. Marte will start it off. He has singled. He's been hit by a pitch. He's walked. He's scored twice. 1 for 2. D-backs trail at 6-5. Each team with 7 hits.
Oh, Wade Davis, his out pitches are usually cut fastball and that curveball. Sharp overhand curveball.
Drops it in there for a strike. It caught the corner. The pitch, as Bob would say, that was never in the strike zone. That one's a base hit. He squirts it by Arenado. And Marte's aboard. He's the tying run. Here comes Goldie.
Here we go. Nice pitch right there. A little breaking ball, trying to get it in. Inside out swing by Marte. Arenado playing in on the grass. Respecting the speed of Marte and maybe a possible bunt. So he was in on the grass and he gets right by him.
Goldie has walked, singled, and scored a run. 1 for 3. Big crowd here tonight. Starting to fire up. Fastball's a strike. Now remember that Goldie 3-homer game at Wrigley Field last year when Wade Davis was the Cubs closer. He homered against him twice.
Well, the outfield for the Rockies playing deep, no double situation here, trying to keep everything in front.
Desmond holding Marte on the bag at first. Did he check his swing? No, he didn't, says Ramon DeJesus, and Davis is ahead 0-2. Chase that curveball in the dirt. Couldn't check.
Well, he threw that hard breaking ball, and Goldie just couldn't hold up enough on it. This is where Goldie gets pretty good here. He tries to get in that 2-strike approach.
Remember that walk he had in the 4th. He was down 0-2 there. Oh, got it in there. That's a borderline strike that caught the zone. 1 down for AJ.
Well, and I said this when we were in Atlanta. Goldie's the nicest guy in baseball. Every now and then, I know that's a pretty decent pitch there on the inner half, but he missed location a lot. He hadn't been calling that to certain guys. Arenado got one right down the middle. He called for a ball.
Goldie struck out 3 times last night, punched out 3 times again tonight. Here's Pollock, who has walked twice and scored twice. He's 0 for 2. AJ coming off a 5-hit game last night. Boy, Wade Davis, last 10 games, Gonzo. This is why they gave him $52 million to come to Colorado and close. 7 for 7, the ERA under 1.
Well, they've got pretty much the same guys out on the field, but this is where they've made their difference right here in their bullpen.
They spent over $100 million on that bullpen this winter. Davis got half of it. Fastball's low, a ball and a strike. Giants have added a run. They trail in Oakland 3-2 now, 7th inning. We showed you the Dodgers loss in Milwaukee. Here's a look at the Colorado defense. Hampson, the second baseman, just almost behind the bag.
Not a lot of guys have run on him, and this year 4 stolen bases, no caught stealing off of Davis.
Double play ball, Story, Hampson, and they'll just get one as the rookie decided not to take his chance.
It looked like Hampson couldn't get it out of his glove, and you're exactly right. He didn't want to make that errant throw to first base. He got a nice feed there from Story. He just couldn't find the handle on it, make the grip. Another chance for the Diamondbacks here.
And for Steven Souza Jr., who has singled in each of his last 3 at-bats, 2 for RBIs. And remember, he came up in a huge spot against Ottavino with 2 outs in the 8th inning last night and popped up on the first pitch.
It'd be nice to see him come up big here. This could turn his season around right here.
He is 3 for 4 tonight. Tying run at first, 2 outs, winning run at the plate. That trickles away from Ionetta. Pollock stays put at first. Dave McKay coaching down there. Remember, AJ had a stolen base in the game last night, his 10th of the season and the 100th of his career. Souza ahead 1-0.
He's got to get a good pitch, try to find something up in the strike zone. Oh, he got one right there. He missed it.
Diamondbacks last night out-hit Colorado 14-12, but lost 11-10. Tonight they've out-hit the Rockies 8-7. They trail 6-5. Got another fastball up. That one was in. And Souza's down to his last strike.
Oh, he's worked him in, away, and then back in right there with a 95-mile-an-hour fastball. Go away.
2-2. Nick Ahmed hoping to get a chance.
Nice take right there by Souza.
Trying to sneak that cutter down in the corner, and Steven has worked it full 3-2. This will get Pollock started early from first, although Desmond will still hold him on the bag over there. Two outs, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Steven Souza Jr. There goes Pollock. Ball 4. And now the winning runs are aboard, and the batter is Nick Ahmed.
Or you see a couple first pitch cutter, fastball, Fastball up. Fastball away. And the cutter down in the zone. Nice at bat there by Steven Souza.
Our nationwide vision centers eye on the game. Now keep in mind, Nick, in 4 plate appearances tonight, has seen a total of 4 pitches. He has been very aggressive. He swung at the first pitch every time. The tying run is at second. The winning run's at first with 2 outs in the 9th. Takes a low fastball. Ahmed, an RBI single his last time up.
Boy, and Davis has been pitching up in the zone to most of the hitters. And Nick, if he could stay on top of one of those, rifle it down in that left field corner.
Just a base hit would tie the game.
And Charlie Blackmon swinging over a little bit to right center field.
Jammed him. Out of play. Don't forget, kids getting free tomorrow. Zach Greinke on the mound. Series finale, a 1:10 start. 2 on, 2 out, 1-1 on Nick Ahmed.
Pitch down in the zone, 92 miles an hour. Nick swings right through it.
Well, Davis got ahead of Souza in a 2-strike count and lost him with a base on balls. Now it's 1-2 on Nick. Got that breaking ball, yanked it foul.
Boy, that was a mistake pitch right there. He got it up.
A.J. Pollock tying run at second. Steven Souza Jr. winning run at first. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Nick Ahmed. Oh, come on.
Oh, that's not good.
That is not even close to a strike, Paul Nart. Oh. So there's your final, 6-5. The Rockies clinch a series win. Their 6th consecutive series win, and the D-backs drop into 3rd place for the first time this year. The cutter that Paul Nart says was strike 3 to end the ball game. So the Rockies now a season high 8 over 500. They're only 1 game behind L.A. Colorado has won 7 straight and 15 of its last 18, Gonzo. And the D-backs, for the first time all season, sit 3rd in the division.
Yeah, tough loss right here for the Diamondbacks. Did a great job putting themselves in position here in the 9th inning. Just couldn't come up with a big hit.
Another Rockies D-backs game leaves you a little worn out, Gracie. He's standing by with Jody.
Yeah, Steve, I think that's how we feel for sure, and part of it is what we just saw, because unfortunately, you know, Chris Iannetta was here last year. Framing was a part of it.
Right.
But when you see the glove move that much, to me, that's a little bit of a red flag too.
Yeah, and it's really easy to be disappointed in the umpiring, but he was the same umpire for both teams, and the umpiring didn't lose this ball game for the Arizona Diamondbacks. The Arizona Diamondbacks got beat tonight, and they got beat because once again they could not hold a 3-run lead.
Yeah, the bullpen, which has been excellent all season long, they've had a couple of bumps of late, that's for sure. And it is tough, 2 one-run losses to open up this series, and pinch hits that cost the Diamondbacks. So we have reaction coming your way. Kate Longworth will be in the clubhouse for sure. With Mark Grace, Luis Gonzalez will weigh in on their takes as Tom Murphy hits the game-winning homer for the Rockies.